Hello everyone and welcome to another Sovereign Citizen Watch. How's everyone doing? Sorry for the mess. I am in the midst of reorganizing some stuff, as you can see. I worked on putting together the shelf yesterday. This one I couldn't do on stream, because even without stream going, it took me 5 hours. If I had to also focus on stream, it would have taken me, like, 10. So, this one I had to put together off stream. How is it going, everyone? Hope you're having a good day so far. Hope you're having a good week so far. Normally I don't stream on Mondays, but today my electrolyst had the day off. She's visiting her kid because it's their birthday. So happy birthday to them. They are very cool and have a band with pretty good music. So how's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome. That thing's huge. That's the first time I've ever heard that. Fun fact. Welcome, everyone. I know I'm excited about this. People don't care, but I care. So I'm gonna show you where I put my new stuff. Okay, or where I put my stuff on the new shelf. So, this right here, this whole shelf from here to the end, the middle and this one, this is all my animal attack movies. Most of them. Cujo's downstairs with my Stephen King collection. But this is your classic animal attack films. We have our exploitation films. We have our exploitation films and educational films down here. Sci-fi series, Doctor Who, A24 special editions, The Prisoner, variety, random sci-fi series, sci-fi up here. Anthology series also goes from the middle over. Anyway. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Now I have some empty shelves over here that I'm working on that I'm gonna fill the rest with horror. My tokusatsu stuff is all on its own shelf over here. We're doing good. Doing good. Where's the anime shelf? I don't have that yet. I don't have enough anime for that to be the case. True story. I have Ghost Stories, I have Pokemon, I have Ultimate Muscle. I think that's about the extent of the anime I have. I guess I could put the anime with the tokusatsu. It's close enough. Anyway, so, yeah, that's that. I'm working on where to put the sign exactly. It's still going to be somewhere. And I have another shelf to put together that might go kind of over here in a corner, and I might move some stuff a little. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Just a peach with a $1 tip says, my younger cats decided to start a race as you started. Very glad to see the shelves up. Well, thank you very much for them helping with the organization. I still have stuff all around me because I'm in kind of a chaotic period of moving things, but shall be good. Ghost Stories aged like milk, sadly. I remember liking it, but then I watched clips of it the other day and I was like, ooh, there's some... There's some very middle school jokes in here, let's say, to put it nicely. Anyway, let me get this window capture fixed and then we can get into it. We have all sorts of sovereign citizens to take a look at today. Lots of court stuff, as well as a few New Zealand and Australian sov sits left over from last week that we didn't get into, and more. We just have a bunch of weird stuff, so it should be good. Hydrate. Oh, my phone's dead, too. I should probably plug that in. My phone died. I should plug that in case anyone tries to communicate with me. That might take a while to charge. So if anyone in chat is trying to text me, my phone's dead. It'll be back alive soon. Hydrate. Can do. Alright. So, let's get into it, shall we? This first one's kind of interesting. This one comes from here in Michigan, from the capital of Michigan, actually, Lansing. And this gentleman on the bottom is an interesting fella. He's an interesting fella. He's a defendant. He allegedly set something on fire. So yeah. And yes, Baha, I was talking about you.
According to you, are you Jacob Edwin Mullins?
Yes.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Feigelson, if you would enter your appearance, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Assistant Public Defender Stephen Feigelson, on behalf of Mr. Mullins, who's present by way of video conferencing this afternoon.
All right, thank you. Mr. Mullins, this is a felony complaint indicating on or about January 24th of 2025 at 216 East Thomas Street, Lansing, Ingham County, Michigan. Sir, count one alleges that you did willfully and maliciously burn,
I did see that,
damage,
Amber.
or destroy by fire or explosive
Sorry, I've been busy.
personal
that's why I
property
didn't
with a
message you back.
value of $1,000 or more, but less than $20,000.
More than 1,000, less than 20,000. I'm still not sure what was lit on fire. I don't know if it's a car. To me, that would fit. More than 1,000, less than 20,000. That could be some kind of vehicle. It could be anything, though, really. I wish they'd just say. It just bothers me not knowing. It doesn't really matter for the purposes of the court case, but, like, I want to know, what do you light on fire?
That is contrary to law. It is a felony, carries a maximum penalty of 5 years and or $10,000 or 3 times the value of the property damaged or destroyed, whichever is greater. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty, Mr. Mullins?
I understand your perspective of what occurred, and
That's not what you want to hear. This is the arraignment. Don't say I understand your perspective to the judge. Either understand it or you don't. This isn't really a place to, like, get contentious about it. Just a thought.
outside
Well,
of
hang
that,
on. Before you go too far, this is just what's written on the paper. You
Yeah.
are presumed innocent. Let me finish, okay? And you'll understand why I'm saying this. You are presumed innocent. So we want to make sure that you don't say anything today that can be used against you. So when you get to talk with your attorney in private, that's when you're going to want to talk about.
Where am I going to put the sign? I'm figuring it out. It'll go somewhere. I think I might move this slightly. I'm not sure, though. If I have to, I'll put, like, some stuff on the shelf to hang it off the shelf.
About what happened or didn't happen. I can only tell you what the charge is and the penalty is, and then you'll talk to your attorney and they will help you prepare a defense against the charge. Does that make sense?
I'm 29 years old. I understand. Like, you know what I mean? I get it, bro.
Good.
Like, I get it, for real, yo. I know everyone has a different vernacular. I get it, I know. But sometimes it tickles me a little, you know? People can make fun of my vernacular, that's fine. I say stupid things.
Good.
I'm not-
Okay. All right, then, Mr. Mullins, you understand the charge and the maximum penalty. You don't have to agree to it. You just understand. Is that right?
Yeah, no
Okay.
disrespect. So
Okay. Perfect. All right, now you do have rights as well. You have the right to plead guilty, not guilty, or stand mute. You have the right to a trial by a judge or a jury, and at that trial, you can present or confront witnesses. If they would not appear, the court can order them to do so. You also have the right to a lawyer, and if you cannot afford one, one can be appointed for you at court expense. Additionally, you are presumed innocent, as I said earlier, and if you are found guilty, it has to be.
Why is he so far away? I just assume there's like an X taped on the ground or something, a certain distance from the camera to tell the prisoners where to stand for their arraignment. I don't know.
Beyond a
He
reasonable.
forgot how to sob sit. He's supposed to overstand. See, this guy, I'm cheating a little bit. I'm not sure if this guy is actually a direct sovereign citizen. He's just weird. But I couldn't not show this one. It's labeled as sob sit, but there's this weird drift of nomenclature that's been happening where some people are just calling anyone who acts weird in court sovereign citizens, which isn't really true. I don't know if he's actually a sovereign citizen, but he is interesting.
Doubt. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or write can be used against you, and you always have the right to have a lawyer present with you at any time that you are questioned. Do you understand those rights, Mr. Mullins?
You said read anything you say or write can be used against you? Did you say that?
Yes, I did say that. Yes, sir.
Me no speak English on that one, but everything else, yes.
Me no speaky English on that one. So apparently, the judge doesn't seem to know what he means by that, because that indicates that he doesn't understand what was just said. And I don't know what he didn't understand. It's literally anything you say or write can be used against you. That's like, I don't know how to simplify that further. If you say or write down anything incriminating in the presence of the court, it can be used against you. How do you explain that further? I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, that completely caught me off
Shut
guard.
up. I hate this guy.
Is he applying for an attorney today, Mr. Feigelson?
Yes, he is. He presently works with our office on another matter, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Mullins, what we're going to do is we have 2 hearings set for you on this. A probable cause conference, which is the first hearing. That is February 6th. That's at 8:30 a.m. with Judge
He doesn't
Simmons.
believe the written word can be used, would be my guess. Ah, the Socrates defense. I don't trust the written word. It'll make the youths lazy and soft in head.
Excuse me, you are allowed to appear remotely on that, so that's why you will have a colored sheet. I think it's kind of a
Yeah.
bluish green. Yep. Okay, you should have that, so you can appear February 6th at 8:30 a.m. remotely or in person. The second hearing is a preliminary exam. You have to appear in person for that. That's on the 6th floor of City Hall,
Hey, Mr.
courtroom
Duck's house.
4, and that's February 13th at 8:30 a.m., also with Judge Simmons. So you've got the notice and the
Oh, fucking Simmons is gonna love this guy.
Zoom instructions, correct?
Yes.
Good, good. Okay, now, is there anything I've told you so far that you do not understand?
The one thing I didn't speak English on, yeah, but other than that, yes, everything else.
The
I did.
one thing I didn't speak English on, aka he didn't understand it, though he's phrasing it in kind of a cutesy way.
I'm an artist. I've
Okay.
been writing a lot of things, so when I write stuff, it's like almost like, you know what I mean? So that's just a
Okay, so he's saying he wants to write it down because he's an artist. I think we could have guessed you consider yourself an artist, sir. I see what you're wearing.
arbitration contract thing that I didn't like. So I mean, we'll settle through that. So I would like to just voice that. Other than
We
that,
could
no
just
disrespect.
Move
Yes.
forward, sir. Appreciate the.
Correct.
Yeah, you'll talk
you.
about that with your attorney, absolutely. Okay, so, Mr. Mullins, I'm gonna stop the live stream so that I can protect.
A low PR bond or a low cash security bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
If it's
All
any
right,
money,
thank
I
you.
can't afford it. Let's just say that. I ain't got nothing to y'all ain't give me any tools to get a job since I've been released from your guys' care. Now, I
Isn't
don't
that Judge Simmons in Wayne County? This might be a different Judge Simmons if this is in the capital, but I don't know how courts work. I don't know how big the district goes, and I don't know. It might be a different Judge Simmons.
know what's going on with
Let me look real quick. Are you thinking of Judge Simpson? There is a Judge Simpson. Judge Simmons. Maybe it's this Judge Simmons, so maybe it is a different Judge Simmons. Yeah, okay, it's probably this Judge Simmons then, because there's a different one that I was thinking of.
my sports.
This
But
is-
it's
This
burned
is
down
my
relationship
turn
with
to
my
talk,
family.
Mr. Mullins.
Metaphor.
Okay, you don't want to talk about that, because like I said, you're gonna, you might say something that can be used against you. So, the court's
Sounds
gonna
like-
look at 2 things, Mr. Mullins. I'm gonna look at whether or not you're a flight risk and whether or not you are a danger to the public. In regards to that, I'm gonna look at your criminal history, I'm gonna look at the allegations, I'm going to look at your ties to the community, your employment status, you live with your parents. I look at all of those to determine 2 things.
Does he still live with them after setting something of theirs on fire that was between $1,000 and $20,000 in value? Like, I'm not a parent, but if my kid burned something of mine worth between $1,000 and $20,000, I'm probably not letting them live with me anymore if they're an adult. I'm probably gonna be like, hey, bud, I know things are rough. Clearly, you lit something on fire worth a lot of money. I would love to help you, but also I'm a little afraid of you. Glad I'm not having kids.
I do have a concern for the safety of the public. On the matter that I arranged you on first, the arson, you are presumed innocent, but as I look at the allegations, it presents a concern to the court for the safety of you and any other individuals that
I've
reside.
heard of a YouTube channel called Magnify. Somehow he was able to get a micronation he made up as an experiment to be noticed by actual governments. What do you mean by noticed? That's a pretty broad descriptor.
In that,
What if they burnt my Blu-ray collection? I don't think I'm legally allowed to say on YouTube or on Twitch what I would do.
I
Answers
understand that would be
money.
that would be your parents.
Is Coke in a wine glass tastier than from a bottle it looks like it is? It is, and it makes you feel fancy. It's better business, quite honestly, for the camera. What looks better, chat? Oh, look at me. I got a can of cola. Look at me. Ba 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 ba. Or I am a classy lady sipping upon cancerous, carcinogenic artificial sweeteners while we enjoy sovereign citizens. See, I look like an adult.
Okay,
Trust me.
this
It's all right.
is my turn, sir. Okay,
I
so
bought it,
based
too.
on that, I'm not
Look
going to
at-
grant you a PR bond because I don't find that that is sufficient to ensure your appearance.
This dude definitely doesn't deserve a PR bond.
Shut
Just look.
up. Sorry, I don't like the presenter that this channel actually has. I don't like that dude. But he has the video, so.
This is genuinely mentally insane. Let's dive back in and find out.
As well as protect the public, as specifically here, your parents. The court is going to set a cash surety bond on this of $10,000.
Would there be a new hole in the backyard if your Blu-rays were damaged? We wouldn't need a hole.
To ensure your appearance. We're not done yet, sir. Okay, now, first of all, the condition of your release is do not miss any court dates and do not violate any state or local laws while you're on bond. You're not to possess, purchase, or consume any alcohol or controlled substances without a prescription.
I get the feeling that not being able to do weed is probably the bigger issue for this guy, considering the outfit he came in. I'm getting weed vibes. He's probably high right now, both in the video and at the moment I'm recording this. He's probably high.
And you're not to leave the state of Michigan without permission from the court. You also are not allowed
He's
to possess or
laughing. He's like laughing about this. Look at him.
purchase any firearms, ammunition, or dangerous weapons. And you will have to report to pretrial services so that they can set up any pretrial supervision that may be necessary. That's either a phone or an in-person interview. Now, I'm also going to tell you, you cannot have any contact with Daniel Mullins and or Barbara Mullins. You cannot call, write, page, email, text, no electronic communications of any kind. You can't have anybody else contact them on your behalf, and no threatening, harassing, or molesting behavior towards them or anyone else. Additionally, you cannot go within 2,000 feet of where where they're located at any time, including work, home, or school. So what that means is if you have property there, someone can go and get your property.
Look
and
at
get
him! It's like he's the monster from the movie Smile. What the fuck is he doing? Someone Google Kubrick stare. Jesus, man.
for you, but you
No,
cannot go
like-
there and you can't have any contact at all. Also, you're unable to give me an address at this point. So if you are released, you have 24 hours to notify the public defender's office of the address where you're staying. If you don't do that within the 24 hours, the court then sets a bench warrant for you. Do you understand that? You
You're gonna
understand
say
what I'm
Norman Bates stare? He wouldn't even hurt a fly.
telling you, Mr. Mullins?
I understand that our system's broken and I'm just a little cog chilling. Hi, I'm Cog. Nice to meet y'all.
Okay, all right, let's go.
He's just a little cog, chillin'. Oh, don't try and do bits at court. Believe me, don't do bits at court. Trust me, in my experience, not a good audience.
Go over the other file then. This is, again, the 24-03520. Judge Simmons has ordered that you be remanded on that case file because you failed to appear for the probable cause conference. So you will not be released before that hearing that is to be set. Do you understand?
Yeah, y'all tweaking.
Okay, here's a free law tip for you. Don't tell the judge they're tweaking. Probably won't go great for you. Saitam, thanks for 18 months. As 18 months, doesn't that mean something? It does. That's a sub-baby. This sub-baby's name is going to be Dashiki McWeed Pants. Dashiki McWeed Pants.
Right.
You guys know I have no clue what the hell y'all are doing. You have no details. You're making a bunch of judgments on very, 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 very misguided details. And the frail line
Okay,
understands that you
Mr. Mullins.
understand.
Probably remain silent. Your lawyer should probably tell you to shut it.
You're
I
going
can't
to
even
talk
speak.
with your attorney.
What's the Rotary Club? Who am I? Do you guys know who I am? My name's Jacob Evan Mullins. You guys know who I am. That's crazy. You guys are playing
Mr.
silly ass
Feigelson,
games.
did you have
Real.
anything else?
I do not, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
And I am going to order a CMH evaluation on that new file
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, he finger guns!
All right.
that.
Finger
That's about
guns
the one
them!
good
Okay,
thing you've done
good.
today, and it's not your fault. You're an amazing person, I'm sure. And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings or like I'm a frustrated individual. So let me just say, like, I'm sorry for the
I'm a frustrated individual, I bet. Paradona with 100 bits says that's how you add mandatory drug testing to your bail conditions. No kidding. No kidding. Almost on a hype train. If you want to help the channel, consider doing gift subs. We're a little behind for the month so far.
disrespect. I know it's not your fault necessarily, but this is just a large structure. So I'll end
right.
that.
Yeah, no disrespect to the judge.
Jesus, he's terrible.
See if
there's anything else. No. Okay. I'll definitely keep you guys updated if we see him again, because he's very interesting. Like a stereotype you saw on Dragnet. I do just want to say with this one, this is a sovereign citizen, like, presentation this guy gives. And I just want to say, the samurai sword above the mantle is just beautiful. Beautiful for my purposes of making fun of you. Nemesaur, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs to the community.
Your journey of freedom.
Anyway, I'll save that. I don't know if we're gonna watch that today, but I did find that funny. Try this one.
Beginning, how about we do that?
Yes, let's do that.
All right. Senior Constable Roncardo, Wollongong Highway Patrol.
Thank you.
I'm required by law to let you know I'm wearing a body-worn video camera that's recording, and there's cameras in the Highway Patrol car that are recording.
That's
Do I
fine.
have any samurai movies? Not really. I don't, and there's some that I want to watch, like I know the Kurosawa films are like the really famous ones, but I don't.
Oh, no dramas at all.
All right. Do you agree that I've directed you into the RBT?
I guess I can't say zero. I own a decent amount of movies that are like Shaw Brothers movies. Some of those might have, those mostly have like kung fu type stuff, which is China though, so I doubt they have samurai stuff, right? Do they? Did they make any samurai film? I don't know.
Site for the purposes of random testing.
I agree. You pulled me in for that. Yeah.
All right. Do you agree that I've asked you to produce your driver's license?
Yes. And
Do I have Last Samurai? I don't. Nor do I have The Last Mohican.
agree that I've said to you that is a commercial contract to the Roads and Maritime Services?
I do have The Last Airbender. Weird series.
That is a separate corporation to the New South Wales Police
I
Force.
thought I'd have Seven Samurai at least. It's on my list at some point. It's in the Criterion collection.
which is a different ABN. So you didn't have the consent by me, I am the beneficiary and the executor of that legal fiction
What
name.
about The Last Unicorn? I do have The Last Unicorn, which slaps. Have I seen any of the American Ninja movies? No. And if I have any Western movies? Fun fact, Westerns and samurai movies are thematically identical for the most part. I know that they basically, The Magnificent Seven is basically a Western remake of Seven Samurai. Know that. I do own some Westerns, not many though.
You didn't have the consent to even look up the details of that commercial contract to the RMS because you're a separate corporation.
All right. I agree you said something.
Last House on the Left, I do. I don't want to sit here and just, like, people ask me what movies I have. That's boring for most people, I would imagine. I don't have Last Picture Show.
Similar to that, not quite as long as that. Much
I do have Last Action Hero.
I do study law.
Yeah, all right. So, in the end, said you're driving a motor vehicle and the state of New South Wales...
No, I'm not driving a motor
Sorry,
vehicle, I'm
finish there.
travelling.
You're required
You said
to
it, he's
produce
traveling.
carry and produce a driver's license when police ask.
That'd be if you're conducting commerce, and I'm not conducting commerce, I'm actually travelling.
Do you agree that I then gave you a warning?
2 minutes
if you
left
didn't
on the hype
produce
train.
that driver's license that you would be arrested?
Oh, I
If you
agree,
like
you
the
gave me
show,
that.
consider gifting subs. Nemesaur does it most of the time, which I always appreciate. But give Nemesaur a break. Nemesaur does so many gift subs.
Warning that I find you have no jurisdiction as the state of New South Wales is registered to Washington DC under the listen to me please. I'm going to continue. State of New South Wales is registered to Washington DC on the Security Exchange Commission 00000715.
Okay, so he is once again talking about American law. Again, a lot of the Australian sovereign citizens seem to think that Australia, as well as other countries, are companies underneath the banner of the United States.
45, which means that you now require an ASIC 418 memorandum, ASIC 402, ASIC 403, ASIC 404, and ASIC 405 to be able to conduct business lawfully in this country.
All right. Again, I've mentioned to you before, I don't know what you're talking about.
I do because I study law.
Yep. In the end, I'm dealing with the road rules in terms of New South Wales, the road legislation.
Well, I just told you, the state of
Minute
New
left
South
on the
Wales is
hype
registered
train.
to Washington DC without the people's consent of this country.
So this is your last warning. You need to produce.
I don't need to. No, I don't, sir. You know.
Senior Constable Broncado, at this point in
Do you
time,
not?
sir,
Do
you're
not?
under
Do
arrest.
not? Do not come in my private property, sir.
Sir, you're under
Do
arrest.
not enter my private property. You are trespassing on my
as a
private
driver of
property.
a motor vehicle.
You do not have consent to enter my property. This is my private property. Sorry, you do not have consent. You don't have
Overthought,
consent.
thanks for gifting a sub. Thank you very much.
If you break my window,
30 seconds on the
if you
hype train.
break my window, no, you are trespassing against my property, sir. You do not have consent. You now placing you under penalty of perjury, you must provide the material evidence that you are not a business.
Just yelling at a cop. Under penalty of perjury, you must give me identification.
Now placing you under penalty of perjury, you must provide the material evidence that you are not a business.
Yeah, I
Right.
did catch that Harold Edelman. It's usually through something like that.
Now,
Thanks for the hype train, everyone. Tea with Goblins, thanks for gifting a sub.
you must provide the material evidence that you're not a business. You're under penalty of perjury now, I remind you, officer. I know the law very well. I study contract law. All right?
He does it. He studies it on YouTube. The best place to learn facts.
I know exactly what goes on here. You do not have jurisdiction over me. I am under the jurisdiction, and within the jurisdiction, and here we go, here's my identification of the Global Federal Postal Courts. That's a legal fiction name, that is not I.
Oh, Anonymous, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you, whoever you are.
Legal fiction name, that's not I. You are committing personage right now by trying to identify me as a legal fiction name. You do not have the right to do so. That is personage.
You
Personage is a
can't make me be a person.
crime. You're supposed to be upholding the law, sir.
He is. The law includes you having to have a registered vehicle on public roads.
I am under global federal jurisdiction. Do you want to see my identity?
Global federal jurisdiction. Not a thing that exists. Fun fact. It's a Mia. Thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing with Prime.
Tag. You do not have jurisdiction over me. Real federal, not corporate. I am a student of Mark Kishon Christopher, the Global Chief Postal Court Judge.
Oh, that must be whoever his sovereign citizen guru scammer is that he gives money to. That's funny. I know Russell J. Gould claims to be the global postmaster general. I didn't know there were multiple people running that exact same scam. Is Russell J. Gould mad at that guy for stealing his grift that he stole from a dead guy?
Do you still want to wish to try to contract with me, sir? Do you believe you are higher jurisdiction than Mark Kishon Christopher?
He's the anti-postmaster general.
Global Chief Postal Court Judge.
Love a good anti-popes joke.
The real federal.
Mark Kizan is a Gould Miller disciple. Is he claiming to be the postmaster general now? Pretty funny if so.
Commonwealth of Australia is registered to Washington, D.C. on the Security Exchange Commission, 0000805157. That is fraud, that is treason, that is without the people's consent. Sir, you are sitting in a position of treason right now. I will take this to the courts. I've already beaten the Chief Magistrate in the court in Sydney. And you will be next on the litigation. You'll be held liable in the private capacity. Do you understand? In the private capacity, you will be held liable. Your badge is your indemnity number. Your corporation does not cover you for your own conduct. Do you understand? So you do not have jurisdiction over me. I am global federal jurisdiction. And you will be receiving a judicial notice from me. Do you understand?
That's what you want. You want dead air.
Corporation cannot make laws for the living, nor can a corporation enforce laws on the living. Sir, I run a channel.
The only person you can enforce laws on, the dead, don't tend to be coerced very easily.
That reaches over 1.4 million people weekly.
Unless you have the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, then they're pretty pliable.
And I will make you famous. I need to go. I have to be somewhere. Sorry.
Alright, then you should probably have had your car registered. He with Goblins says, I love seeing Australian sobsits on this channel, not just because it's funny to laugh at my own countrymen, but because the cops here, while also deeply problematic and racist, tend to be a lot more sardonic and amused rather than outright aggro. Also, for some S-tier sobsit nonsense, I recommend the videos of certain cooker named Wayne Glue. Kind of an OG sobsit here. Alright, I'll look into him.
No! You do not have jurisdiction over me. I am global federal jurisdiction. Right there, my friend. Right there, global federal.
If there was a global federal jurisdiction, does he understand that that would be an even bigger power structure over him? And other structures would probably be nested underneath it, kind of similar to how in the United States we're like a democratic republic, right? So you have a federal government, but then you also have distinct states that have their own government, and then within those states there's like localities that have their own jurisdiction. So if you had some sort of global federal government, something akin to that, it would probably be global. That would be like over everything. Then there would still be country, state, locality, etc., right? It wouldn't take you out of the jurisdiction of other things, it would just be a further layer on top.
Federal jurisdiction. We are the ones serving you notice. I have already served the New South Wales Police Force notice, judicial notice. They have been acquiescent to all the questions I have proponed. A to Z of questions, which will be brought up. An A to Z of questions. They could not confirm their jurisdiction nor their authority. Okay, I know exactly what I'm talking about because I studied this stuff for many years. You don't have jurisdiction over me, sir. I am going. Thank you.
Oh, is he
Have a
just
good
gonna,
day.
Is he gonna try and drive away? Oh.
No, there's no Mr. Glenn Short here. You are talking a legal fiction name.
And that's just where it stops. So, I guess I don't know what happens there. Nerdy with 40 bits says bad Walter White impression. I'm not in the jurisdiction. I am the jurisdiction. I'm no Malcolm in the Middle dad. What else? What else? Ooh, this is a quick one. This lady gets arrested almost immediately because she refuses to sit in her chair. Refuses to sit in the chair.
Court is now on the record in City of Conneaut versus Amber McHenry, 24 TRD 819.
She is to the left slightly.
Ms. McHenry entered no plea.
She's at the south of the desk. You can just see her in the bottom left. She's cut off slightly on your screen, unfortunately. She will come into focus
Charges of no operator's license and expired plates, each of which is a minor misdemeanor on December 17th.
No, not in pink. Not in pink. She's in green.
2024.
Not, the pink lady is just in the audience.
I scheduled it for a bench trial for January 8th of 2025.
Here, I'll show you one
Henry
sec.
was given notice of that bench trial. I have a signed receipt in the file showing she got notice of that bench trial.
There she is.
Present on January 8th, 2025 was the law director along with a police officer. Ms. McHenry failed to appear. As a result of her failure to appear, I issued a warrant for her arrest. That was January 8th. It's now over a month later, February 11th, and Ms. McHenry is now turning herself in on the warrant. She is in the courtroom, and she is without an attorney. Ms. McHenry, why were you not here on January 8th of 2025?
I have a question about the case.
Ms. McHenry, sit down. This is not your courtroom. Sit in that chair.
I have a question about the case. That's not the case number that I had.
Yes, it is, Ms. McHenry. You've got other cases pending that are set for jury trial.
The original case number that I had was like TDR, like 0800 something, and
24 TRD 819.
819. Okay. I was just double checking on the case number.
You looked up the Australian guy. He got hit with 7 charges after that video. That tracks.
Can you repeat your question then? No.
Probably don't try and run from a traffic stop. That's not going to go well for anyone.
Were you not here
Especially you.
on January 8th?
I put in an appearance and it was rejected and struck from the record, and I was sent a letter saying that I am not who I said I was. So I have a question about that because I don't understand.
This is not a discussion here. This is not a conversation. I ask a question, you respond to my question. Now, this is typical behavior for you because you're a sovereign citizen. At least you claim to be.
I've never claimed that.
Well, your documentation that you file, including the one you filed today that did not have a correct caption or case number on it, is indicative of that. So let me ask you, Ms. McHenry, again, why were you not physically, personally present in the courtroom on January 8th, 2025 for your trial?
I need the oath and bonds to be put for each person.
Wow, we're at sentencing and she's doing this shit. Oh, God. Oh.
Acting as a public official in this case who is acting as a public servant to be put on the record. And I also require the indemnity bond, and I'm going to require the other bonds.
Funny that he just walks out. He's going to get, I believe, a deputy to arrest her, by the way.
I need the accounting. Please, for the record, let it be known that you exited.
I
while
did.
asking.
Let it be known for the record that you exited the courtroom. It's on camera, ma'am. It was intentional.
To the courtroom and asked a police officer,
Who
probation
has
officer.
the indemnity bond?
Uh,
Where's the bill of particulars?
The
Because I
bond is
did not
being,
receive it.
the warrant is being executed, you're being taken into custody, take her down to the jail now.
I was not given the warrant.
Take her down to
either.
the jail now.
Why am I being arrested?
Take her down
For
to the
what?
jail.
What crime have I committed? Get off me. This is kidnapping.
Can I read what she posted in black on the video? Where?
Given the
Executed, you're,
Where's the bill of particulars?
the
Because
bond
I
is
did not
being,
receive it.
the warrant is being executed, you're being taken into custody, take her down to the jail now.
I was not given the warrant.
Take her down to
either.
the jail now.
Why
When he
am I
left?
being arrested?
Take her down
For
to the
what?
jail.
What crime have I committed?
I'll go
Get
back
off
in a
me.
second, see.
This is kidnapping. This is a false arrest.
They literally have a warrant.
No, this is a false arrest. This is kidnapping. They're violating my rights, my constitutional rights. I put in,
I thought the Constitution didn't apply to you.
the Constitution applies to every living man and woman.
Yeah.
You are violating your oath, Mr. Iorochi.
That's something. All right, let's see when he gets up what it was.
Require the indemnity bond, and I'm going to require the other bonds.
This thing that says, whoa, the judge abandoned the bridge, Admiralty Court reference. Oh, she didn't put that there. This is old Squishy Gardener's channel. She didn't put that there. That's a joke about how sovereign citizens believe that they're in Admiralty Court. This is facetious. It's a joke.
I need the accounting.
Yeah, that judge is fed up with the sovereign citizen stuff, you can tell. All right, let's try another one. Oh boy, this one's interesting. This is a defendant who was being represented by an attorney and was doing an insanity defense, and now has decided to go full sovereign citizen and be her own attorney. Guess how well that probably is gonna go.
No, you don't get to quiz me.
It's my right to ask questions.
Ma'am, don't interrupt me. I don't interrupt you, you don't interrupt me.
Zane says, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Our court system needs an entire division about education about how the court system works. We should be able to just like, nope, we're stopping the trial. You need to go and you need to watch this video class and then we'll reconvene. Like, I get it. Yeah, like for some people, it seems like it's such an impediment that they're getting into sovereign citizen stuff and trying to be their own attorney. Like, people have a right to be their own attorney. I don't want people to not have that right. But, like, it's kind of a catch-22 in that no one who is reasonable, like, no one who is really reasonable would exercise that right. Does that make sense? It's a right that you have, but it's a right that if you take it, you're an idiot. Like, I don't know how to... It's weird, right? It's weird. I don't want people to not have that right. But yeah, maybe like a little video that's like, hey, just so you know, virtually no one wins being their own attorney. It takes like a decade of work to get through law school and the preliminaries for it. Like, you're not good enough for this. You're just not.
You can call Ms. Tubbs' case.
Okay. Calling case 2400390201. The people of the state of Michigan versus Tanea Nicole Tubbs. This matter is scheduled today for competency
You think judges wear pants under their robes?
hearing. Appearances for the record, please.
They probably do.
Morning, Your Honor. Elena Rozak on behalf of the people, P7.
Law school is 3 years, yeah, but you have preliminaries to that as well. Like, you need to go to other things first. Do pre-law before you actually go to law school.
815.
And after that, usually you end up working at a firm or something, continuing learning as basically an internship for years.
William Glenn P. 36794 on behalf of Ms. Tubbs. Ma'am, state your name.
Is it just a bachelor's before? Sorry.
Tanae Nicole Tubbs.
All right, Ms. Tubbs, you have a constitutional right to be
I like
physically.
to think they wear parachute pants. I was warm. Today I'm not wearing pants under the robe.
Present in the courtroom. Do you agree to waive that right and hold this hearing by Zoom?
I agree.
Okay, thank you. Counsel, I've received a report dated February 13th, 2025, authored by Andrew P. Sheff, licensed psychologist,
Hey, Phoenix,
consulting
thanks.
forensic examiner. Have you both had an opportunity to review that document?
Yes,
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor.
Do you both agree, stipulate to that being admitted as court's exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that'll be marked and admitted as court's exhibit number 1. All right, and do you stipulate to its findings?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will find that it says opinion. It's my opinion that Ms. Tubbs is competent to stand trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, then it says, at the last paragraph says, while I recognize the ultimate.
Iglesias Bard says, to quote Gomez Adams, they say a man who represents himself as a fool for a client. Well, with God as my witness, I am that fool. I love the Adams family.
Decision in this matter
I
rests.
feel like I remember that episode. Wait, was that an episode or was that in the movie? Because I can hear both Raul Julia and the original guy saying it. Huh.
Upon a judicial determination, it's my opinion that Ms. Tubbs was competent to stand trial at the time of this evaluation. You both stipulate to both of those findings?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then the court will
In the second movie, Raul Julia.
sign
Poor
an
guy.
order. Is she receiving medication? Is she?
She's in the Calhoun County
The day
Jail. I don't
M.
know.
Bison graced your village was the most important day in your lives. For me, it was Tuesday.
Ms. Tubbs, are you receiving medication?
No, Your Honor.
No medication? All right.
No matter.
And counsel, are either you aware that she's receiving medication?
I am not aware, Your Honor.
I am not aware, Your Honor.
I don't see any mention of medication here, so. All right, and I'm signing the order finding her competent to stand trial. And do we have a trial date on this matter?
March 17th.
What day?
17th.
Okay, so this matter is scheduled for March 17th at 9 o'clock. Has counsel had a chance to discuss whether this matter is going to be resolved or not?
Your Honor, I had filed a notice of insanity to get a criminal responsibility report. I have not received that yet. Once I get that, I'll have a good idea as to whether we're gonna be able to settle this or whether or not we have to go to trial.
Your Honor, I object on that. I would like to exercise my Sixth Amendment right, and I would like to reserve my rights to not be compelled to perform under any contract or commercial agreement that I did not enter into knowingly, willingly, voluntarily, or intentionally. And
There's the sovereign citizen arguments claiming that going along with the court is in some way a contractual obligation. It is not. It is in no way a matter of contract. This is a criminal trial. It's not about any sort of contract. You just need to participate in the court process. And even if you don't, it'll continue without you. Which, especially considering you want to be your own lawyer, the case continuing without you is not ideal, even by pro se standards.
furthermore, do not accept any liability of compelled benefit under any unrevealed contract of the commercial agreement. And that's under code UCC 1-207. And I have the rights to represent myself and waive all counsel knowingly, willingly, and intelligently. And I would like to.
Right, so you're requesting that you be allowed to represent yourself? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's correct.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna voir dire you with regard to that decision. Would you like an opportunity to speak with your client in the breakout room with regard to this decision, counsel?
Well, she said that a couple of times, but I would ask that the court hold off on that till I get the criminal responsibility. So, you know, if we, once
The third live action Addams Family movie wasn't technically a third in that same series. It was a direct to VHS movie put together by Saban. Saban is the same company that did Power Rangers and Big Bad Beetleborgs. They had a strategy in the 90s of buying the direct to VHS rights to theatrical film franchises. So, like, for instance, there was the theatrical Casper movie, but then Saban came in and said, oh, can I buy the rights to do some direct-to-video Casper movies? And they did, and they sort of act like they're sort of prequels or sequels to the original movie, but they don't really have anything to do with it. They did the same thing with the Addams Family, bought the rights to a direct-to-video Addams Family movie, Addams Family Reunion, and they recast most of the actors except for Lurch. And I think they used the Wednesday Addams from the new Addams Family TV show at the time. And Tim Curry, I want to say, was the Gomez. He surprisingly wasn't very good. As much as I like Tim Curry, and you'd think he'd make a good Gomez, he was not.
I get that. Then if she wants to represent herself, then we can, you know.
Well, here's, ma'am, do you want to do the, are you saying you're not going to do the criminal responsibility evaluation?
I do not need to do any of that, sir.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
That's defamation of character. I will not be doing any of that. And I would like to exercise.
You are requesting that you not do a criminal responsibility evaluation. Is that my understanding, ma'am?
That is your understanding. Correct.
Well, yeah, with the MIDC's policy, I don't know if I can continue as her attorney of record. She has to have standby counsel appointed.
Nerdy says, woman in the video to Hannah. That's like your opinion, Hannah, but I can prove you wrong by citing the legal argument of nuh-uh.
She's going to represent herself. That's my understanding of their current policy.
All right, and you do standby counsel?
No, yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna, would you like to talk with her before she makes this decision? I'd like to have you speak with her.
Yes, Sean.
So, ma'am, I'm gonna have the attorney go into a breakout room with you and just talk to you. This is a very important decision. I'm not saying I'm not gonna do it, but I just want you to talk with him and understand some of the risks of doing this. And, okay?
Your Honor, I understand all the risk and I do not wish to talk to him. I have not.
It's such a bad idea. It's such a bad idea.
I talked to him in 6 months, so why would I need to talk to him now? Thank you. I pray you respect my wishes.
So just so I'm clear, you're refusing to talk with him, is that correct?
Correct. I understand all the consequences and repercussions in this case.
Okay, all right. Then let's, ma'am, we're gonna need you to have you sworn in for you to self-represent yourself, okay? I want to ask you some questions, just so you understand. Can you swear her in, please?
Ms. Tubbs, please raise your right hand in front of the camera where we can see it.
I do not swear in, but I wish to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Okay, I'm assuming that's a sovereign citizen thing where she thinks swearing in gives them jurisdiction or something. It doesn't. It's just a thing that you have to do in order for your testimony to count. That way, later, if you are found to have perjured yourself, you agreed at the time that you were going to tell the truth. What she accused of? I'm actually not sure. I'm actually not sure what her particular thing is. The fact that they were going to use an insanity plea, though, means it was probably something serious.
All right, then will you affirm?
I'm here to reserve
let's
my
have
right.
you raise your hand and you can affirm, okay?
Do you solemnly swear to?
No, do you solemnly affirm?
Do you solemnly affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you?
I tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Okay, you have to put your right hand up, ma'am, please. Let's do it again.
That's against my religion, sir.
All right, then ma'am, I'm not gonna have you self-represent you until you do this. So if you're not gonna do it, we're gonna continue the attorney with you, all right? So you tell me what you want to do, Miss Tubbs.
They think the swearing thing has to do with Christianity and no swearing, like not swearing oaths? Is that in the Bible, not to swear oaths to people? I don't recall. H-Baird says, might be too long, but this reminds me of this.
Take off your
Okay.
hat. Now raise your right hand. Now place your left hand here. Take off your hat. Raise your right hand. Now put your left hand here. Please take off your hat. Raise your right hand. Now put your left hand here. Will you please take off your hat? Raise your right hand. Now put your left hand here. Take off your hat. Raise your right hand. Will you get rid of that hat? Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Huh? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Are you trying to give me the double talk?
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Why don't you answer him?
He's talking pig Latin. I don't know what he's saying.
He's asking you if you swear.
No, but I know all the words.
Because until I go through these questions with you under oath, we're not signing any, we're not
But I need to
having
know
you
what oath,
present yourself.
what oath am I going under, sir? I have the right to know what oath I'm going under because I don't go just under
It's
any.
an oath to tell the truth. It's just literally so you don't perjure yourself. You're exclaiming that you promise to tell the truth and you won't perjure yourself. That's it.
Oh.
All right, well, let's have her raise her hand again and you say the affirmation. It's not an oath, it's an affirmation. Raise your right hand, please, ma'am.
Do you,
No, yeah, okay.
do you affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you?
I tell the truth and nothing but the truth, and I come in as beneficiary of farm.
Just can't help to put in that little sob sit stuff. And I come as the beneficiary. No, none of that. That has nothing to do with anything. Stop it. Get through the oath. Just have to get through the oath, ma'am.
All right, thank you,
You know
ma'am.
how full their docket probably is and we're wasting all this time?
What's your name?
I am the beneficiary, Tanea Nicole Tubbs.
All right. Do you understand that you have a right to have a lawyer represent you in this case?
Yes, sir.
They usually give affirmation as an option for people who don't want to swear. That's so funny. Because it's the same thing. We're just playing semantics, basically. That's my favorite kind of argument, is when none of it matters, materially speaking, and we're literally just arguing with how we're organizing things in our head. Oh.
Do you understand that I will appoint a lawyer to represent you if you cannot afford a lawyer?
I waive that right.
Huh?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I waive that right.
Just a Peach with $1 tip says, this is a reminder to YouTube people to like the stream. Yes, if you're on YouTube, do me a favor, give a thumbs up for the stream. Helps a lot, helps new people find the channel.
Okay. Do you want to have a lawyer represent you?
No, sir.
Can you afford a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the maximum sentence in this matter, Madam Prosecutor?
In this matter, Your Honor, it is
Punishable up to 5 years or a
It's-
fine not.
Ma'am, just wait. Let me speak, okay?
I'm
Madam
sorry.
it would be 7.5 years because the defendant, it's carrying concealed weapon, which is a 5-year maximum penalty, but there is a habitual second offense notice, so that would increase the penalty to 1.5 times the maximum sentence, which would put it at 7.5 years.
Okay, so why would you have an insanity defense for this? In what state can you try an insanity defense for carrying a concealed weapon without a permit? What? Whatever.
All right, ma'am, the maximum
It's
possible
a me, Zero. Thank you so much for the $20 tip. I appreciate it.
sentence in this matter is 7.5 years.
Florida? Does Florida have a ton of latitude on what you can use insanity plea for? Because my understanding was under like the McNaughton standard and stuff, that typically this is something reserved for like murder or like severe violent crime where you've like lost your sense of like what's going on and you don't have a sense of right and wrong.
Because you are a habitual offender, second offense notice. So it's
Master
7.5
Sergeant E8,
years is
thanks
the
for following.
maximum sentence. Would you like to talk with a lawyer, with a court-appointed lawyer to decide if you want to represent yourself or not?
No, I would like to represent myself and put in the motion to dismiss.
Okay, so ma'am, first of all, can you give me your educational background?
You assume the argument would be they didn't know it was a gun? Wait, this is a gun? Does anyone remember that Batman sketch? This is a gun? That's a bad defense! I didn't know it was a gun. Oh, what did you think you were loading? A squirrel? What did you think you were loading? What the fuck? The safety's on your squirrel.
I have
How far have you gone in school, ma'am?
college.
College, okay. And have you represented yourself before?
Yes.
And why do you wish to how many times have you represented yourself?
Twice.
Okay, and then what, were those in criminal matters?
One is, yeah.
And what happened with that case?
I got it dismissed.
Okay. And what was the other case you represented yourself, Ms. Tubbs?
I'm actually doing that now. It's for another criminal case, actually.
And you're representing yourself in that case?
Yes.
She wants to represent herself in 2 cases simultaneously? Oh, God.
And why do you wish to represent yourself in this case?
You don't normally have to talk about caseload issues for pro se litigants, but here we are. Oh, my caseload is terrible. Maybe stop committing crimes then.
I wish to represent myself in this case because I have learned all the
Yeah, here's the clip.
What happened to no guns? This is a gun?
This is a gun?
What happened to no guns? This is a gun?
I have learned all the trade secret acts, and I'm fairly fed up with how this courtroom is operating and suing people without letting them know that they are entering into a contract with you all as owning our vessels, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. No one owns me.
All right, man.
They're not saying they own you. That's not the point. The point is that you are alleged to have done criminal acts, so they have arrested you and arraigned you in preparation for a trial on that matter. They're not saying they own you. They're saying you're under the jurisdiction of their court, which you are.
Tell me what the elements of this offense are.
The elements of this offense is that it's punishable by imprisonment for more than
No,
5.
that's not what the elements of the offense are.
The elements? What do you mean
Yeah.
by elements? Because you know y'all.
Well, that's the
Okay,
problem.
if you don't know what the elements of an offense are, you shouldn't be representing yourself. What do you mean by elements? What, like Avatar?
You don't
You
know.
jump language here, so I know.
How are you gonna represent yourself if you don't even know the elements of the offense?
It's not just that she doesn't know the elements of the offense, she doesn't know what the elements of the offense means. For those that don't know, the elements of the offense are basically the bullet point facts that need to be true for a certain offense to apply to a given situation.
How are you gonna do that, ma'am, if you don't even know what you have to defend against?
I have to defend against the accusations, the charges.
Right, ma'am, tell me what the rules of, do you know the rules of procedure?
The rules and procedures to this is that, yes, that a prosecutor, the people of the state of Michigan is trying to sue my corporation.
Oh God, okay, none of that's true, and that's also not what, like, the rules and procedures mean. There are rules of evidence, there are, like, court rules in how you bring things up. No, that's not what any of this means. She doesn't even know that there are, like, rules of procedure, rules of evidence. She doesn't know what she doesn't know. She has no idea how big this topic is, and she thinks she can just do it. Oh no.
That's correct, right? And you are acting as a trustee, correct?
No, he's not. He's a judge. He's not the trustee. There is no trustee. It's not a trust.
He's correct.
No, I'm elected as a judge. I'm not a trustee. I'm a judge, okay?
I'm a judge. You're fucked.
Okay, so what?
Hold on. She's getting extra fucked, so I need a bigger gavel. Maybe not big enough. All right. I'm a judge. By the beard of Thor, you're fucked.
Ma'am,
So
no,
what?
you don't get to quiz me. Ma'am, what do you know what the rules of evidence are?
Yes.
Okay, tell me what the exceptions to the hearsay rule.
Bigger, sorry. That was the last. Rule of threes. Normal gavel. Bigger gavel. Mjolnir. I don't have a fourth bigger hammer because it would no longer be funny. Rule of threes, people. Look it up. Oh no, I smashed my Blu-ray of Reality Bites. Has anyone ever taken the plastic wrap off a Blu-ray and just watched it blow through the wind? Beautiful, man. The rule of three is for cowards. That's just a mallet. You're just a mallet.
I want to write all this down.
I'm sorry.
Beachbeard says the rules of evidence: 1. Serve the public trust. 2. Protect the innocent. 3. Uphold the law. 4. Don't arrest an officer of OCP.
No, I'm asking you. You say you know this stuff. How are you going to represent yourself?
You got
Is that really a loss? Yes, every one of my Blu-rays is a baby to me, and if it gets harmed, it harms me mentally, desperately.
Sir, I would like to write everything you're saying down so I can
Have you ever done jury selections or jury instructions?
Yes, jury, it holds up to 12 people.
He's not asking if you know what a jury is, he's asking if you know how to voir dire them, which I'm assuming you don't. He's not asking if you know what a jury is. Ah! Did she write a note for that too? Like, a jury. Yes, a jury does this, this, and that. Oh, fuck. I've seen this. I've seen the film 12 Angry Men. Clearly I can be a lawyer.
No, do you know how to ask them questions?
Yes.
And how to do the jury instructions? All right. Do you know how to...
She does not. She does not. She clearly does not. Tea with Goblin says, slaps jury box. This bad box can hold up to 12 people.
Reserve issues for appeal?
Yes.
Do you know that self-representation is almost always unwise?
Yes.
did you know that the first day of law school, they tell us that he who represents himself has a fool for a client? Do you know they tell us that?
Yes.
And so what does that tell you if they say he who represents himself has a fool for a client? What's that tell you, ma'am?
You know what it tells me?
Yeah,
That
what's
you
that tell
all-
you?
You all operate in trade secret acts.
Here's the thing about cute little clever phrases. Not everyone gets them. I get that a turn of phrase is great, and I love that line. That like, oh, he who represents himself as a fool for a client. I get it, I love that line. But like half the country reads at a 6th grade level or below. It's not impossible that a decent number of people don't even understand that phrase when it's said to them, unfortunately. So sometimes I think you just gotta say, this is dumb, don't do this. Overthought says, waiting for the remake, Mass Up, 12 Angry Monkeys. I love the Planet of the Apes franchise.
Okay. Well, that's not true, but okay. Miss Tubbs, would you do brain surgery on yourself?
Why would I do brain surgery on myself?
This concerns me too. The fact that she can't understand the purpose of a simple rhetorical question as it relates to the current situation implies not great lateral thinking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you hear that and not understand how that rhetorical question applies to this situation? She genuinely seems confused why he even asked that and doesn't understand the relevance. Like, how does that work? How does a brain work like that? I don't get it. H-Bird says, but if you tell someone they're making a mistake, they'll consider you condescending, and therefore it's your fault they made the mistake. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because you'd have a fool for a patient, wouldn't you?
Correct.
So why do you think you can do law if you can't do medicine?
Because I go by federal law.
Okay.
Oh. Exhausting.
You understand you'll receive no special treatment and you can receive no help from the judge during the trial. You understand that?
I understand.
You understand the prosecutor is an experienced trial lawyer who is unlikely to give the defendant any special consideration. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You understand you'll receive no special help from the court staff and you'll be expected to follow the same requirements that apply to practicing lawyers. You understand that?
Yes.
Madam Prosecutor, have I complied with MCR 6.005?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am, do you believe that your
what cabinet position is she getting? Attorney General, Assistant Attorney General.
Waiver of an attorney is knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily made?
Correct.
And accurately?
She's at the peak of Dunning-Kruger Mountain.
And understandably?
Yes.
Okay. Then the court will find that the waiver is knowingly, intelligently, voluntarily made. The waiver is unequivocal. You understand the disadvantages of self-representation, and self-representation will not disrupt, unduly inconvenience, or burden the court. So I'm going to grant your request to represent yourself, ma'am, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Now we've got a jury trial. What's our date?
And I would like the full discovery package sent to me, please, as well with along with the Dr. Chef report. And the oath of office, please, so I can know what I'm dealing with.
Oath of office, so I can see what I'm dealing with. I think you're dealing with a judge in court.
All right.
Do you guys go by
You could literally look up like that area's oath of office for a judge, probably on a website or something. I imagine it's a standard thing they do. The obsession with oaths is weird too. Like, I get why we do oaths and stuff, but like at the end of the day, has anyone in history actually stopped themselves from doing something they wanted to do just because they said an oath? You know what I mean? Like, am I crazy? Do people do that? Is that how people work? I'm evil and I would do evil things, but I said words once, so I better not do the bad. Again, I get why we're doing it. I just, you know.
Maritime law or common law?
Ma'am, it's not maritime law. You need to learn the law, okay? I'm not advising you on the law. I told you, I'm not advising you. If you don't know what it is, that's up to you to find out. I'm not advising you on anything on the law, ma'am.
Don't worry about it. I know what it is.
Yeah, don't ask for any special consideration. You have to perform just as any licensed attorney would here. So if you don't know that, I would strongly recommend you have an attorney represent you if you don't even know if it's a maritime law or not.
It's my right to ask questions.
All right, well, go ahead. As I said, he who represents himself, he or she is a fool for a client, ma'am. Okay. We will have the attorney send you those documents. Madam Clerk, if you can get a standby counsel for this for March 17th at 9 o'clock. Is there anything else we need to take up?
This trial's gonna be terrible. I hope they film parts of it. It's gonna be so bad.
So am I here to be released?
Yes, you're released.
Thank you, Jan.
You need to send all the materials to her. And also, if we can get her brought here from the jail, Madam Clerk. Okay.
That's what I was going to ask for, is to have her written here and then another date before the trial date where standby and Miss Tubbs would be here. Where we would all be on the same page.
Well, we're gonna get the standby and do that right away, as soon as we get that.
Okay.
I
We can
request
schedule
that,
this for, ma'am, don't interrupt me. I don't interrupt you, you don't interrupt me. All
excuse
right,
me.
we'll schedule this for February 19th at 9 o'clock for assignment of a standby
Ooh.
counsel, okay?
2 days from now.
And if you can make sure that she is on Zoom that day, Madam Clerk. Okay, is there anything else we need to take up with regard to Ms. Tubbs' gig? And you, ma'am, just so it's clear, you're under oath, you are requesting that there not be an insanity defense. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I also,
Okay.
February 19th,
Madam
I
Clerk,
have
if you can
something
prepare,
scheduled at 9.
ma'am, don't interrupt me. Prepare an order that says that she's withdrawing any insanity defense. Okay, all right, what, Ms. Tubbs?
I have another court time at 9 a.m. on February 19th.
All right, then we'll make this February 20th at 9
No,
o'clock.
she had another court thing. Great.
All right?
Thank you.
All right. Anything else we need to take up?
No, Jan.
All right, nothing further. This matter is completed. Everybody have a great day.
I think it's probably good that she probably shouldn't have a concealed firearm. Just gonna put that out there. I think her judgment might be askew. Just a thought. All right. Moving on. We're about halfway through the stream. If you like the stream and watch regularly, consider gifting subs or becoming a subscriber yourself. It helps the channel run, and we couldn't do it without viewers like you. All right, let's see what's next. About a sovereign citizen's car being impounded by the South Australian police.
Can I get your details? What's your badge number? I'm going to explain everything to you, John. No, what, let's get all your badge numbers.
What does gifting subs mean? On Twitch, there's a thing called subscriptions. And if you have a subscription to a particular channel, it means you don't have ads, and people can gift those to people. On YouTube, there's something similar called memberships, so you can also gift memberships on YouTube. Though I don't know if it gets rid of ads, it does give you access to our Patreon and member-only live streams. We're going to be doing one of those soon, because I missed it. I was going to do one yesterday, but I was busy and also was kind of not feeling great. So, we'll be doing another patron stream this week, and then the next week we'll be doing one as well. And emotes! You do get emotes on YouTube.
What's your badge number?
Yesterday, 21st of July.
Membership does not get rid of ads. That's such a bummer. I don't know why YouTube does that.
4445.
One of the reasons I like Twitch.
Senior Sergeant First Class, and which one have we got? Constable here?
Victor Harbour,
Okay, what's-
impound lot. 79356.
What's your
Also, I
name?
apologize for having to plug this kind of thing. In an ideal world, I wouldn't have to do any of this, and we could just watch silly stuff, and I'd never have to bring that kind of crap up. But, you know, shows require funding, as I am a human that needs food and electricity to function.
Senior Constable Jerome Kay.
And you, what's your name, sir?
Sergeant Smith.
Sergeant Smith, and we got.
Senior Constable Bradley.
Sorry?
Senior Constable Bradley.
Senior Constable Bradley.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
What's your name?
John.
Your number.
John.
I'm getting my
76948.
You guys are illegally on my property. What's here? What's your name, mate?
My name?
Yeah.
Why are you asking my name, mate?
You're on my property, mate.
I'm
I'm
on your
asking
property.
you.
I'm on your property because we are impounding your vehicle. That's the reason I'm on your property.
For what reason you're impounding my vehicle?
Officer over there is going to explain to you.
Yeah, sure. But can you get off my property, please? Because you don't have a warrant about my property. Where's the warrant about my property? Can I have... No, you're not getting my vehicle. Can I please have a warrant to say that you've got authorisation to be on my property?
John, I'm trying to explain everything that's going on to you.
What? You're not explaining. You're breaking the law, fellas. I know the law.
And then you can listen.
I know the law. Where is the warrant?
1st of July 2022 at Beach Road, Galba, South. You've refused to comply with the directives in relation to alcohol test or breath analysis, Section 47E3, Road Traffic Act 1961. As a result of this allegation, your driver's licence is suspended or you're disqualified from holding or obtaining a driver's licence for a relevant period.
I would imagine he doesn't think he needs one anyway, so I don't know if he'll consider that an impediment. But taking the car will probably do the job.
As defined in Section 47IAA
Get off
of
my
the Act,
property.
being a period up to 12
Wow,
months.
what was that? What was that accent? I need to stop trying to do voices and accents and tell jokes and anything that noises out of my mouth.
This is forthwith from 6:14 p.m. This is your notice.
Mr. Peach says, what is the plan for the old chair? I think I'm gonna pull it apart and throw it away. I promise to murder it on stream, though, so I'll probably take it apart and snap pieces and generally fuck around with it on stream at some point.
22nd of July.
We're gonna dissect the old chair, chat.
So for now, would you like to sign and acknowledge this licence disqualification?
I'm not contracting with you, sir. I decline to contract with people who are
Pretty
acting
sure
on...
we all like your mouth noises, and you haven't even heard all of them. Check this one out. That was a pretty bad one.
Lawfully. You're on my property. I've asked you to get off my property. You don't have a warrant to be on my property. You haven't produced any warrant to be on my property. You don't have an implied licence because I'm the property owner and I've told you to get off my property.
Can you please tell me what warrant under what section in law that we require produced to you?
You
Can you tell me what
are the
warrant?
authority, sir.
Hydrate.
You should be telling me.
No, you told me we need
I'm a
warrant.
floor sander. You should be telling me right now.
This officer has just explained to you why we're here.
He's explained to me why he's here, but you have not answered my questions. I'm not accepting. I'm not contracting with you. No, don't litter. I don't accept you littering.
Now, we're also impounding your vehicle for 28 days.
No, you're not impounding my vehicle. I'm not contract. Get off my property, police guys.
The keys, mate?
I'm not producing. I'm got the keys. I don't even know how the car got back
So
here.
we'll get the tow truck and we'll drag it out. On the
Oh,
tow truck.
that's gotta be photoshopped. That's definitely photoshopped. They'd get sued by Disney immediately if that was a thing. Also, there's no other signage on it that matches that. So that is 100% photoshopped. Snow be gone, Kenobi. Funny, but not real. You can tell that's photoshopped.
I'll be taking my car.
So this is your.
Well, I'll be okay. Well, I'm going to contact some legal advice right now.
Please do.
Yeah,
We
because I'm telling you
mate.
now, you're not. You're acting illegally. You have not produced.
This notice here was just issued to you.
No, you
That
haven't
gives us the
issued to me.
authority
I'm
be
not
here.
contracted with you.
So
I'm not sure who you're contracting with. Can I see all your insurance indemnity? Who's your insurance? Who is your insurance?
You need anything out the car?
Who is your insurance?
You need anything out the car?
I'm not. I want to know who your insurance is. Who's your insurance underwriter? Who are you insured by?
Who
We're asking a question in relation to the car. Is there anything in the car? And if you
I'm
had the keys-
refusing.
Old
If
Chair's
you guys
favorite movie was Going South with Jack Nicholson. I have that. It's around here somewhere. It's in a pile. No, we're streaming. You don't need to find it right now. You don't need to find it right now. You don't need to find it right now. No point in finding it right now. Stop it.
You're going to contract with me. You're going to contract with me on my terms. You're actually breaking the law right now.
I have heard that.
By being on
Janerty.
my property when I've asked you to remove stuff from my property, you do
He's
not
a floor sander. He's warning them that he knows karate.
have the implied
Karate Kid joke.
license.
Most people remember the wax on, wax off. That's not even how he started. You gotta sand the floor. You gotta sand the floor. You gotta sand the floor.
To be on my property without a warrant.
You understand that?
I don't care what you're saying to
Can you
me.
explain to
You're
me-
breaking the law.
Can you explain to me?
You're breaking the law,
Can you
fellas.
explain to me? Can you? So we'll do this one first. Right. Here's the notice that we're picking up, so you can pick the car up.
I think it's just the name of this one plow. Ah, I see. Snow be gone Kenobi. Okay, I get it then. Sorry.
Up on the 19th of
I don't
August.
want to contract with all this. What's he going to my car for?
It doesn't have the sign on it. Okay, so it's named that, but it does not have the sign on it. I knew the sign looked photoshopped. I knew it.
Well, let me have a look. You can have it.
Where are the keys? We'll get the keys.
Well, this one through the window. Yeah, we'll do that.
We're going to check the back seat as well. Let's make sure you don't want anything.
What's your name, mate?
Doesn't have to give it.
Oh, well, I'm telling you now, you're going to be probably prosecuted.
He doesn't have to give it.
Don't touch me. Don't assault me.
John,
Yep.
Okay, move out the way.
John,
Come on,
move out the way.
John,
I'm going to go over there. I'm on my own property.
John, go over there,
And
please.
now the
Come on.
Jackie Chan Karate Kid movie is no longer a remake. Yeah, it's part of the Karate Kid cinematic universe. Because everything is stupid. I'm still gonna watch that goddamn movie. Here's gonna be the twist. Here's gonna be the twist. Here's gonna be the twist. I'm calling it now the Karate Kid movie. Because it's thematically about family or something based on the subtitle. I think it's called, like, fucking Karate Kid Bloodlines or something. Anyway, it's gonna turn out that Mr. Miyagi and Mr. Han from the Karate Kid remake, I'm guessing it's gonna turn out they're related in some way. Like the Miyagi family went off from Okinawa at some point and went to China and started a family. So, like, it's gonna turn out that the Mr. Miyagi family not only helped invent karate, they also helped invent kung fu. I'm betting money on it. It's gonna turn out within this fucking series that the Miyagi family invented all martial arts. And it's gonna be so stupid and so fun, and I love the Karate Kid series, including Cobra Kai. Watch it.
Yeah, right.
Come to the mic.
You're gonna be probably prosecuted.
John, he's just
for
doing his
theft
job.
of
He's just
no,
doing-
you're not doing your job, mate.
he's
I wouldn't
doing his
listen to
job.
him, buddy.
He taught us the secret of the drum. I used to have one of those drums. I wish I had one still.
You're taking my car. Yep. You're going to be probably prosecuted. You're going to lose everything you've got, champ.
No, come on.
You will. All yous. You will.
So you want to
Telling
do
you.
notice, John? There you
Yeah,
go.
go for it, mate.
Thank you.
You guys are, I'm not taking anything here. It's yours. Don't litter.
No, you've already covered it.
I didn't take shit. I didn't take stuff, mate. You've been littering on my house. You've been breaking the law. Take your stuff. I'm not taking your notice, mate. Stop littering on my property. Yeah, taking the car, mate. You're stealing my car. You can take your property with it. Right? All ears. That's all right, mate. No, you've broken the fucking law, right? You think you're good, eh? You're the one going to come
By the
after
way,
them.
kung fu was brought from China to Japan and involved into karate, then they'll say that.
Most, first
Then
of
they'll
all.
say that. They'll say the Han family, some of them went off and became the fucking Miyagis.
First of all, I won't sleep until I've done all my... Get off my property. You're pushing me out of my property. Get off my property.
Don't start trying to threaten him, okay?
No, I'm telling you, I'm allowed to private prosecute anyone I want.
Yes, you are.
And I'm going to start with you. And you have no idea, champ, who I've got on my side, mate.
Prepare to be prosecuted expeditiously.
You're dealing with the whole country. Think about that,
Look
mate.
forward to it, John. I'll see you there.
No, mate.
Wait,
9 o'clock tomorrow.
why
Where are
does
you
the
gonna
sovereign citizen think the entire country is behind him?
be tomorrow morning?
None of your business.
Yes, it is, mate. You're a public servant.
John,
You're
John,
standing in
John,
our town.
John, see you later.
Good luck doing business in our town, champ.
We'll get moving. Time to go.
Yeah,
All right.
it is.
He's all good.
Yeah, you've stolen my car.
Thank you.
See you later, thieves. You're all thieves. Thieves with guns.
Okay, they have your
That
car.
is armed robbery. Armed robbery. Can you hear that? Yep. Do some research, fellas.
No, we have done, mate.
No, you do. You're going to do it. You saw those sites. ElijahStone.com.
I saw that.
Jesus is Lord.
Jesus
is Lord.
Okay.
Has nothing to do
As
with
well, I said,
anything.
you
Your
gotta
religious beliefs have no bearing on this situation.
Legislation, they say. You actually look at the legislation yourself, all right? That's a
Section
good one.
109.
You can look at the legislation
Anything
online, okay?
that comes into contact, into it's the same as a Commonwealth Act, right?
Section 109 of what act?
Of our Constitution, sir.
You're talking about the Constitution.
Yeah, Section 109. When a state law is in contradiction of a federal law,
yes,
the federal law
takes precedence.
to the degree of the difference. Correct?
But the states are also
Now,
allowed to make
if
their
we've
own
got
law.
a state of Western Australia that has done something without a referendum, and I've got a constitutional matter, which it is, because you've agreed on that on camera.
I don't think I did.
Now,
agree.
you did.
I don't think I did.
You
agree.
did. Now, what I'm saying is, you've been all been articulated why I said what I said last night, but now you're taking a
Consider
direction.
yourself articulated,
His word
copper.
for it all, and then you're coming and stealing my car, armed, right? Armed robbers working for a corporation. Right? Do you understand that? Do you understand the UA?
That's your opinion.
Yeah, it is my opinion. I'm giving it to you.
Leave opinions out of it. So.
No, mate. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, right? So I'm allowed to give you mine.
Yeah.
I mean, usually that's a phrase meant derisively to tell you your opinion doesn't matter, not not encouraging you to just spout bullshit, but whatever.
And we've certainly given you a time of day of your opinion, all right? But
Mate, I don't care.
People have started, I think people forgot the word belief, and they're confusing opinions with beliefs. Here's a tip. If it's subjective, it's an opinion. If it's a thing that's just either true or false, period, it's a belief. An opinion is like, my favorite color is purple. That's an opinion, right? George Washington is the first president of the United States is a fact, right? And if I believe that, that's a belief, right? Not an opinion. Meh.
Time of day you're coming, you're getting paid, mate. You're getting paid by people like me.
No, I get paid by the state government, mate.
Yeah,
I guess a more apropos comparison would be if someone said Thomas Jefferson was the first president of the United States. That's my opinion. Like, that's not an opinion. That's just wrong. That's a belief you have that's wrong.
Who funds them?
Well, I pay taxes as well.
Your taxes are being paid by me.
And me, I pay taxes as well.
Your money from your wage comes
money?
from us.
My money?
Yes.
Goes also to taxes as well.
Where does all of it come from before you pay the tax?
Comes from the general population.
Does he know how money works? It circulates. Does it, like, the same dollar will be spent many times, right? It's not like you spend $1 and it vaporizes into the ether. Someone then takes that and spends it elsewhere. It's a currency, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Right,
and we're
taxes.
part of the general population,
Taxes.
aren't we? Are we part of the general population?
Yeah, we are.
Am I?
Yeah, you are.
Thank you. So I pay taxes as well.
Yeah.
So everybody pays taxes, and that money goes into.
Did you know taxes are voluntary?
And then the government,
Yeah,
and then the
voluntary.
government dishes it out to all the services for you.
Do you know why? Okay, answer me this. Answer me this. Why is it that on my birth certificate,
These are Australian
my
accents.
surname is in all cap letters, and then under it, it says given name, not plural, it says John Paul. But then, all the license and all those things you give me, that you guys are coming and trying to contract with, Mr. or whoever, John P. Quaremba or John Paul Quaremba in all caps letters, that's not me. Okay? Now, tell me, why is it that you on the license say John Paul Quaremba, but my
I
given
knew
name
someone was going to be pedantic, Will Kale. I didn't say it because I wanted to see who it would be. You win, Will Kale. You were pedantic about it. Congrats. We found the person. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. Ah.
John Paul. Now, why is that registration? What happens to that birth registration? Why do we have to get registered at birth when we've got a live birth record before the registration?
Oh, because I don't know.
You knew what I meant.
Email and send some stuff?
No, mate. No.
You're taking my car and I'm still trying to be a nice bloke.
Yeah, look, I'm being nice.
Well, not taking, you're stealing. Yeah, stealing.
Taking's probably. Stealing's a bit hard.
That's I'll find out that bloke is always.
Chat, don't ever say anything on the internet. Someone will always try and find a way. Well, actually, did you know? Did you know? Yes, I know. I know many things. You know what I meant, goddamn.
Look, he's just doing his job, mate.
He's stealing my car.
No,
without him, he's an accessory to the theft of my car. From you guys. You're a corporate. You do realise you're a corporation. Every time you send out a fine, the fine's enforcement. You've got an ABN.
Not ashamed of taking the bait. Nor should you be. I'm just giving you a hard time.
An ABN at the top. You agree with that?
You said something about not paying taxes.
It's voluntary.
How's that?
Okay, you show me.
Oh, he's not paying taxes either. That'll end great for him, I bet.
It says I'm going to pay GST.
Well, I don't have the Constitution here.
Well, we should know. Why don't we know our Constitution? We're Australians.
But the states in the Constitution...
There you go, there's a better question. Why don't we know our Constitution? We're grown men. We should be defending our Constitution at all costs, shouldn't we? Do you know that?
We do. We do.
You don't. You just said you don't.
The Constitution allows the states...
What's Section 117?
The Constitution allows...
Was that you that came round here looking for me? Was it? Yeah, you. Back in December, round then, when entry permit SA was around, and I went to see me dying mother who's got stage 4 lung cancer.
What's entry permit?
Huh?
What's entry permit? For the what?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think the South Australian government was in contradiction of 117, Section 117, which says that any of the Queen's subjects cannot be discriminated against from states.
Hey?
How is this discriminatory?
But one state was stopping the other state? Oh, no one said that, but it's all coming out now. You guys have got no idea about the law, the Constitution. The only thing you've got is a gun by your fucking side and makes you tough. You're the only decent bloke here. He's a knucklehead. He's a knucklehead. I'll give credit where it's due, mate.
Alright, we're already done. Alright.
In a country where everyone casually says the C word, he's out here calling people knuckleheads.
Don't worry, it's not the first time she's been taken. She loves going on holidays. Can't wait to see all you boys in court. Have fun. Do your homework, brother.
Thank you.
Do your homework.
Thank you.
You want me to send you an email? Send me an email. I'll look you up anyway. I'll find you. I've got your number.
Then it starts playing the Cops theme song for some reason. Sure, why not? Okay, what are we gonna do next? That's 2 hours long. That probably needs its own stream. Although I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. Motto's around. Try this one. This guy had his own plates made. They're illegal, of course. He doesn't see that, though. Let's check it out.
I mean, double jeopardy because I'm going for the same case over again, and this has been dismissed already.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Judge, you never approved my order for withdrawal.
Yeah, you set that over for today.
Well,
Is this the one where I might have seen this one? This might be the one where the judge denies that the lawyer can get removed from the case, which sucks for the lawyer.
I do have your motion to withdraw. I also have the defendant's pro se motion to dismiss with extreme prejudice.
With extreme prejudice.
Affidavit of true and affidavit of reservation.
For those who don't know, dropping something with prejudice literally means it can't be brought up again. Dropping something without prejudice means it can be brought again. So him saying, like, with extreme prejudice doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean anything more than saying with prejudice. He's just being dramatic.
Reservation of rights, request for writ of discovery, which he filed November 21st to 24. Mr. Abel, what's going on between you and your attorney? Do you want an attorney or do you not?
But he's not able to defend me because for like interest, I don't know. But he's not defending me. I need an attorney.
You say you need an attorney?
But you know,
I don't know if it's your computer or mine, but I'm having a hard time hearing you, sir.
hello.
Missy, is that his computer or mine?
I hope it's not mine.
He's not sitting close enough to the microphone, Judge.
All right, you need to sit closer to your microphone is what I'm told, sir.
Younger people having to explain tech to people.
Can you hear me now?
That's great, yes. Now, what's going on with your attorney? Do you want your attorney or not?
I do, but there's some conflict of interest where he said he's not going to represent me.
He says he's not going to represent you?
He says he's going to pull himself out.
Okay, Mr. McClendon, what?
Judge, he's unable to defend me because I'm full of shit. It literally, I believe if this is the one I'm thinking of, the lawyer says that the client is asking that he make arguments that he believes are unconstitutional. So I get why he wants to withdraw. What's he supposed to do here?
On this.
Judge.
Like, he needs to be a zealous advocate. That's your job if you're on the case, which I guess he gets stuck with this, I think. But man, that's rough in this particular case.
My client wants me to support a position that I believe is contrary to the Constitution of the United States. And I took an oath to uphold that when I became an attorney, and I take that oath every year. And he's wanted me to pursue this position that I do not feel comfortable representing the law.
Your Honor, this is the same issue. I believe Mr. Paul was first appointed to this case. Essentially, the defenses the court has seen is one that's contrary to the United States Constitution, Constitution of the state of Kansas, that he's for some reason is exempt from as a private citizen from the laws of the state of Kansas.
Well, aren't we going to have the same problem regardless of what attorney he has?
That's correct. And if my understanding is correct, the court has indulged Mr. Abel in that it's appointed him two attorneys now. Two attorneys he's sought to have basically present a defense that's contrary to the Kansas Constitution, contrary to the oath that each attorney takes when they're licensed with the state. And additionally, this carries a maximum sentence of 30 days, which would typically not even make him eligible for an attorney, but the court has taken the effort to give him counsel.
You can tell he wanted to say wasted resources by giving him counsel or something along those lines. I don't know if I agree to that. I get it, but I'd prefer he have an attorney, even if the relationship is strained.
Well, and didn't Mr. Estrada, didn't this attorney, William McClendon, represent you when this was brought in initially in city court?
Yes, and it was dismissed. This is why I'm claiming double jeopardy, because I'm going for the same case over again. And
it didn't actually go to trial. It was still in pre-trial motions, which is why it's allowed, because it was dropped without prejudice before the actual trial. So it's not actually double jeopardy, because it didn't go to trial yet the first time.
This has been dismissed already. Why am I going to court again?
Well, you didn't actually go to trial in the other one. You had a first appearance, as I recall, and then it was dismissed. So you haven't had any jeopardy attached. You've not had a trial in this.
Well, the supremacy laws says that you cannot be tried or convicted of anything.
I know what they say.
Yeah, you haven't been tried. The trial is the jeopardy because you're actively imperiled your freedom potentially, or some fine or whatever. You weren't at trial yet, so it's not double jeopardy.
I know what they say. All right. Well,
Listen to your words, sir. You just stated it. Tried or convicted. The jury was not impaneled. The judge had not begun to take evidence in your city court case. It was dismissed. Jeopardy does not attach until one of those events occurred, and they have not occurred.
well, so Mr. Abel, if you want an attorney, it's going to be William McClendon. If you don't want an attorney, you'll have to either hire one, which it's kind of late for that in the day, or you'll have to represent yourself. So which way do you want to go?
I like to get an attorney, but
Well,
I
I'm not
already
going to give you continuance for it because you've had this case in municipal court, you've had this case in this court, you've known this hearing was coming up, and you've gone through 2 attorneys. So what do you want to do? Are
very
you going to
simple.
represent yourself or use Mr. McClendon? Those are basically your
I want to be,
choices.
but the
You
paperwork
have
that
to stay up by the microphone. I can't hear you.
I want to be represented by my attorney, but the paperwork that I support, that I put in there is completely lawful, and he doesn't want to go forth with my
Okay,
paper.
so here, is that where the disagreement is? You filed this voluminous motion to dismiss with extreme prejudice.
Voluminous motion. What a way to put it.
And he doesn't want to argue that for you? Is that why you 2 are in disagreement?
Yes.
Amongst many other reasons, Judge.
Yeah, if I was an attorney and my client filed a fucking motion without my knowledge, I wouldn't want to work with him either. Wouldn't that be a situation where you'd be like, hey, you know, I'm your attorney, maybe you should loop me in on this. You shouldn't be filing anything since you don't know how to do that correctly.
McClendon, I'm gonna
Judge, if he's able to draft a motion of such, I don't see why he can't be able to argue it himself.
Well, I'm gonna have you stay on board, Mr. McClendon. And Mr. Abel, I have read your motion. Believe it or not, I did read it all. I read about your arguments for the Sixth Amendment right to counsel and your discussion of Attorney Richard Paw having a case conflict. And then you start talking about your commercial and private license plates. You start citing federal law that isn't even applicable here.
How's that?
They always like to cite federal law. For the record, a lot of them seem to think this. Just because the Supremacy Clause exists doesn't mean that state laws don't work. It seems like there are a lot of sovereign citizens who are under the impression that because the Supremacy Clause exists, therefore no state law has actual power? That's not at all what that says. That's not at all what the Supremacy Clause says.
And
when certain laws come into conflict, basically, the federal law wins versus the state law. But when there's no conflict, and the federal government gives leeway for the states to make decisions about a lot of their own laws and issues, and they get to do what they want, as long as it doesn't inherently conflict with the Constitution. And you can't just say it. It needs to be, like, proven.
And, you start getting into the U.S. Code, and you start talking about retaliation and coercion and the right to confront witnesses, which I agree you do have, and they are here to testify, as I understand it. But I don't agree with this, what you call lawful private American righteous onto the Lord, the King of glory, and the law of the land of the United States, ex parte Milligan. That isn't even making any sense.
Ex parte Milligan.
You start talking about military courts. This is not a military court. You start talking about being a free person, having the right to travel on the roads. Well, provided by their servants for that purpose. Well, we don't have servants in that sense. People are not servants unless they're hired and appropriately contracted. But as far as the roads, if you don't see yourself as having.
Sorry, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. I will be back in a second. We'll continue this. Don't go anywhere. I gotta close this because, again, I didn't wear pants with the judge robe today. Be right back. Chair is here. Don't worry. New chair is here. In spirit. Can't see him. Ooh, it's the ghost of the old chair. Why did you kill me, chat? I loved you. All right, I'm back.
Contributed to making those roads, you have to go by the rules of the road. And there's more paperwork. You've included the order of dismissal from city court. You argue that the U.S. Supreme Court and other high court citations prove that no license is necessary for normal use of an automobile on common ways. That's not right. That's not the law. You talk about yourself being a traveler on foot, but you weren't a traveler on foot using the public highways. You were driving a motor vehicle, according to the allegations. You attached something from a Nora Weisenberg Foreign National Division and you addressed Governor Pat McCrory out of Raleigh, North Carolina, a 2015 letter with a carbon copy to Deputy Justice Attorney General Loretta Lynch and Secretary of State John Kerry.
He CC'd the Secretary of State.
I don't see that having any relevance or bearing. Then you've got something with a copyright number and a fee schedule with lawful legal notice, as you call it. And you start talking about prohibited actions in 18 U.S.C. 101, 18 U.S.C. 241, and you go down through those. And again, this is not a federal court. And then you start talking about you have fees that the officers must pay before they can do any business with you.
There's the fee
Correct.
schedule.
And if they refuse to pay your fees, then any business or interaction with them or transaction you say is basically void. And I do not find that that is the law. You have an interesting fee schedule attached. Apparently, to give them your name, you charge $50,000.
$50,000 for a name that you're legally required to give at a traffic stop? That's incredible. Oh no. Whoops. 1 sec. I don't worry about it. 1 sec, chat. Malfunction. Give me a sec. Okay, I'm good. No, it was not a nipple thing. It was nothing you guys could see. Don't worry about it.
Correct.
To give you
People Lord says, had to look it up. To be clear, it was with the judge's robe. It wasn't anything else. The zipper at the bottom just unzipped at the bottom. You ever have a zipper thing where it unzips, but you're not like, it's not the zipper part? Whatever. People Lord says, had to look it up. It cost about $140,000 to $170,000 to fill a 747 with fuel. Google AI said it was $450,000. Don't look at AI. God, I wish we had better trains. Also, I wish I wasn't out of ADHD meds. What happened to Old Chair? Can we bid on Old Chair? eBay link? No, we're gonna kill Old Chair because it deserves it.
your driver's license number, you charge the officers $50,000. If they want your social security, it's $100,000. If they want a retinal scan, is that 5 million?
That's correct.
5 million?
Photographing, 200,000 each. Then DNA and a bunch of that stuff is 5,000. And you go on with like a long list of what you're going to charge them with, or charge them for talking to them. And I'm not going to honor that fee schedule.
Yeah,
because I don't think
you're
that
telling me that me writing on a piece of paper you owe me money doesn't mean anything?
Any law in this court, any bearing in this court. You either have the right to talk to the officers, or you have the right not to talk to them. You have the right to talk to them with your attorney, again, or you just have the right not to talk to them. But to try to charge them these fees, that is not consistent with the law.
Man, okay.
And then you have a document, the 12 presumptions of court, and you start talking about a Roman court does not operate according to any rule of law.
He's claiming that United States courts are Roman courts? Oh, that's inaccurate.
But by presumptions of law, you go on to talk about before a lower Roman court and a private bar guild. You talk about presumptions of public oath to the bar guild. And again, this is not a practice that Kansas uses.
Chitara says, I see that the heresy of the old chair has ended, High Priestess Hannah. Is the new chair anointed in the temple or simply a chair? As of right now, just a chair. We'll see if they earn their place.
So I'm not going to make any rulings in favor of that document.
But it's a violation of my rights, because what you do with 9 CFR subsection 3(9).
Okay, I can't hear you, sir. You're gonna have to get in front of the microphone.
I've been in front of the microphone, but What you're saying is is a clear violation of my rights because 49 CFR subsection 3.0.
All right, well, sir, I'm gonna stop you there. You've argued your point very, very extensively in your
Looking for the appropriate adverb extensively.
written documents. So I've heard your arguments in the written documents. I don't see any basis to them in this case, and I deny all of your motions and arguments. I note your objection for the record, so you can appeal if you wish, sir.
William McClendon, the attorney. I feel so bad. Look at him. He's so like, why did I go to law school? I could have been a business major. I could have been a teacher. I could have done social work. Why did I do this? Then you never heard the song Don't Be a Lawyer from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
But as judge in this case, I'm denying your motions. And we're going to proceed with your bench trial on a factual basis.
Yeah, but under what law are you basing this? What law? Because you're violating the
Under
law.
the Kansas laws. And if you don't know the Kansas laws, that's what you have an attorney for. He knows the Kansas laws. So we're going to proceed. We're going to proceed, sir. You need to restrain yourself a little bit. We have an orderly process we go through. Mr. Dean, are you ready to proceed?
State's ready, Your Honor.
All right, please call your first witness. And for the record, we are looking at a bench trial on the charge.
Jason Proxy says, most lawyers I know were business majors. I went to law school and got business major because it was easy as hell.
Of vehicle display of a license plate. There's an argument. Okay. Yes, sir. Briefly.
The Supremacy Clause, Article 6 of the Constitution, is saying that the law of the land, the supreme law of the land, is the Constitution.
All right, well, I'm denying your motion, sir, and you need to, if you're gonna participate in this hearing, you have to get closer to your microphone.
Harold Edelman says, currently traveling down the highway behind an SUV with no plates but a big thin blue line flag. That's good enough, right? Probably depends on the cop, actually.
I'm on top of it. Literally, my face is on the microphone.
Well, you have to turn it up somehow. All right, Mr. Dean, if you'll call it, we're going to start the trial. Are there any opening statements?
State would waive open statements. Call, looks like we have Deputy Hanson here with us.
Deputy Hanson, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Very well. Please proceed, Mr. Dean.
Deputy Hanson, would you please state your full name and title?
I am Deputy Clinton Hanson of the Greenwood County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been so employed?
Since June of 2023 at this agency.
That background he has makes me cringe.
And
just need to put it out there.
How long have you say at this agency, have you worked at other law enforcement agencies prior to your employment with Greenwood County?
Yes, sir. I have a grand total of 15 years in law enforcement.
And is that the same amount of time that you've been a certified law enforcement officer?
Yes, sir.
And back on August 21st of 2024, what were your duties on that day, sir?
On that day, I was just assigned to general patrol and any service calls or accidents that came up.
And were you patrolling the city of Eureka in Greenwood County, Kansas on that day and time?
Yes, sir.
And was there anything on that date that caught your attention as odd?
Yes, sir, there was.
And what was that?
While I was southbound on Main Street, I stopped at the stoplight and I noticed the vehicle in front of me had a very unusual registration on their vehicle.
I'm gonna skip through the cop's testimony. I've seen this before. Basically, they just show this license plate, which is the fake license plate. You'll notice on the part where normally you would have the registration sticker, it says exempt. It's not. This is a fictive plate. This is a fraud. He bought this on the internet. That's one of the ways the cops saw that it was bullshit.
Indefinitely, because when I'm
Were you correct?
Commission of State.
Taxes paid.
Yes, sir, in the upper right-hand corner.
And that's where it's just indicating that it's exempt for some reason.
Yes, sir.
Based upon the observations of State's Exhibit number 1, Your Honor, and I would move for admission of the same. He's identified it.
Any objection to admission of State's Exhibit 1?
And where did this plate come from?
That's the number. That's the one that I got from the DOT.
My question, again, not where the number was generated from. Where did this actual physical plate, irregardless of the information on it, where did this plate come from?
From a company. A company made it for me.
And you requested that company make it for you, correct?
Yes, I did.
Oh, he's admitting. I mean, you should be truthful in court. So all there is for him to really do here is be truthful, because you shouldn't lie in court because it's a felony. Don't do that. But it is funny that he's just sitting here being like, oh yeah, I paid a company to make this fraudulent plate for me. Maybe 5th. Maybe plead the 5th. Maybe that's a good time to say, I would like to invoke my right to remain silent on that question, please.
Private company, it's not some government agency that issued you this, correct?
I don't think it'd make a difference, but I'm just
How long
saying,
is this plate?
even in a chess game you lose, there are right and wrong moves, you know?
Good for.
Indefinitely, because when I'm using it in a private.
Okay. Those are the questions, Your Honor.
We did it.
Anything you want to say to follow up what he just asked you about?
Yes, thank you.
No argument, just facts.
I don't even know how to question anymore, because I'm not able to use my own thoughts. I guess I don't have questions at the moment. Go ahead.
Do you have any other witnesses you want to call, sir?
I want to call my wife.
Very well. What is her name?
It's Annie Estrada.
I'm sorry, you're calling your wife as a witness? Why?
Annie Estrada, if you'll please come on the screen. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the information, the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So
holy fuck, is that whole corner just plaster? Oh, you guys can't see it. Hold on. Let me, How much of the structural integrity of that wall is plaster? Like, am I crazy? Is it just paint in the corner? Or is that structurally they just, like, there was something wrong there and they just fucking slapped? What's going on in that corner? I gotta know. What's going on? Someone look at this and tell me what's going on in that corner of their room. I need to know. What's happening? Is this a structural issue? Oh, fuck.
help you, God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. You are Annie Estrada, married to the defendant Abel Estrada Jr., is that right?
That's correct.
Now, were you with him at any time during his interactions with law enforcement on August 21st, 2024? I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you want to tell me about that?
It's so funny to me. Like, that lady's not even old. How do people not know how to talk into a video call? You don't need to, when you're in a video call, don't do this, because then they're just going to see your forehead and eyes. You talk like it's a phone. It's a video call. You look at the camera. You don't talk like this on a video call. Why are you using technology like you're 90 years old? You look like you were born in the 90s. What are you doing?
I just want to add that the number, the DOT number that was on there was never read, because I told them.
But the mic isn't picking them up. They probably need to go into their Zoom settings and change the amount that their mic is doing audio canceling, because it's probably set too high. That happens on Discord sometimes.
That you need to check it, and we have the paperwork from the DOT that it is a registered.
Okay, so the lawyer, by the way, over on the right is literally face palming. I just want to point that out. You guys can't see it. Hold on, let me... That's incorrect as well. Lawyer facepalm reveal. There it is. Anyway, so, she's saying that they registered it at the Federal Department of Transportation. First of all, no, there's not really a mechanism for that, to my knowledge. But even if there was, it has nothing to do with the legality of operating on state roads. You still need a registration and insurance and a license to operate on roads in all 50 states. It needs to be registered to the state in which you reside, primarily.
Number. You know, so how, like, what is the issue with the plate? If you run the number, it is registered.
No, it's not registered in any way that they can find. They're not the United States Federal Department of Transportation.
Department of Transportation.
It's a lawful plate.
Large trucks get registered with the Department of Transportation, cars do not. I assume that's because they do a lot of interstate commerce transport.
And then they didn't want to do anything with it. They actually, so I had to pull out the fee schedule that we have. If you want to do business, then let's do business. Here's our fee schedule. And they ignored it. And then when the officer, the deputy started writing the ticket, he actually told my husband, if you don't sign this, you're going to go to jail.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's generally tickets that you have to sign because the signature is an agreement that you will show up for court, and if you don't sign it, they're going to take you in until your court date. Which is why it's good to sign those, in my opinion.
That's not correct. I believe that's a violation.
I did under the threat of
Yeah.
harm.
So now he has
All right,
to sign it.
Mr. Estrada, she's testifying.
Okay.
Yeah, so he signed it under duress.
Okay.
And so
Anything else?
my main concern here is what is the violation, because we both numbers are registered. One is under the Department of Transportation and the other is under commercial. And I have the paperwork here that I sent it to the deputy.
What is that you're holding up?
The registration.
Oh.
Transportation carrying the number, that it's a registered number.
Mr. Dean, any questions?
No.
No? All right, thank you. Any further evidence, Mr. Estrada?
Not at the moment.
All right,
Mr. Estrada, you're in a courtroom. Please remove your cap.
The only reason I put it on is because I'm taking blood thinners, and I am freezing, and I got the heater next to me, and I cannot concentrate. I do it out of necessity. It's not that I'm being disrespectful. May I have my hat? Because I'm trembling here. I can't concentrate.
No, I'm sad.
I'll let you wear it under these circumstances that you described. Now,
I apologize.
both parties have presented their evidence. You said you're not going to call anyone else, right, Mr. Estrada?
Yes.
All right, and I'm going to give you each
How cold does it get in Texas? Because she's a Texas judge, so he's presumably in Texas. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just surprised it gets that cold in Texas. Probably at night, I assume.
No.
Deserty areas. Is it Kansas? I thought she was. I could have sworn she was a Texas judge.
More than a 5-minute closing argument.
That's
But
not the
remember,
Texas
I-
flag behind her, so I guess not. For some reason, I recalled her being Texas.
I'm pretty versed in this law of license plates, so I don't need a lot of legal argument. Go ahead though, Mr. Dean, if you have any.
I could argue quite a bit about, mainly in regards to what Mr. Estrada is referencing.
Now feel free to argue.
It's Ted Cruz, how cold it gets. Oh.
But I don't believe it's going to be of a necessary benefit to the court. I believe the court's well aware that regardless of whatever this is that Mr. Estrada has issued to himself, he may have received a KDOT or a U.S. Department of Transportation number associated with something. What Mr. Estrada is failing to acknowledge is the fact that this is the supremacy clause doesn't mean all things overrule everything the state does. State rights, equal protection, as the court knows, all of those, full faith and credit that the U.S. Constitution is the primary clause Mr. Abel just ignores, or Mr. Estrada. Kansas requires you to, if you're a resident of Kansas or you have a vehicle in Kansas, which he just showed us a registration for Central County, that you have a Kansas license tag. You don't get to just decide that you're no longer going to display a license tag from the state of Kansas. And he's displaying a tag that no one can run, no one can verify any information from, and I think that's clearly a violation of Kansas law.
Damn Kansas.
I ask that you make a
Wonder how I got it in my
guilty,
head she was Texas.
and that's all I have to say.
All right, Mr. Estrada, it is 12:55. You have 5 minutes to make any legal arguments. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. I'm going back to the supremacy clause of
Oh my god, he literally just fucking talked about how the supremacy clause does not preclude them from being able to regulate roadways. Holy crap, he didn't listen even a little bit.
6 that says that all judges are supposed to be abided by this law of the land. I don't know why you keep why they keep saying that I don't know what I'm saying, but the law of the United States is.
If a bunch of people who went to school for years to learn a topic are all unanimously saying you don't know what you're talking about, you probably don't know what you're talking about. Fun fact.
The supremacy law over any state law, and 49 CFR subsection 390.3 says that unless you there's an exception that says unless otherwise specially provided in the rules not applied to section 3, the occupation of personal property by individuals not for compensation and not the furtherance of commercial enterprise. So
it's funny that he's still cutting in and out, but she doesn't even care now because, like, it's clearly nonsense what he's saying.
I am not in commercial. I am not in commercial law. I am not traveling with a truck. I'm not making any money. I am disabled. And,
that sucks. That's terrible. It has nothing to do with this though. Like, just frankly, like it's a non-issue here.
The only reason why I'm in the city is because of the hospital. I am not using this car for commercial purposes. I am exactly quoting inside what I'm using. This is to do otherwise. This would be a blatant violation of my rights, and all this gas lamping, telling me that I don't know what I'm saying.
Gas lamp instead of gaslighting.
I don't know what I'm doing, sir. That is incorrect. I know what I'm doing because I've been doing it. I studied it. I went to the Kansas Assembly, General Assembly,
Okay, all these people went to law school, which is more than you did.
and we study and they teach us not to violate the law, to obey the law. But any law that supersedes the Constitution of the United States is no law to follow. So, and I want to surmise by saying that I am not going to violate the law in any way, shape, or form. I never did it, and I'm going to give it. Whether decision you want to give it is not correct. You're just saying that because you just wanna get your way with me. But I am disabled. I got no money. Whatever money you're trying to take from me, I don't have it. $700 a month is not enough for me to live. So I don't have the money to pay, number one. Number two, I didn't violate anything. Everybody in your office and then the attorney and the other person at the judges, they're all telling me, why don't you just pay the fine? Why don't you just plead the, why am I gonna plead something that I didn't violate any law? I did not do anything wrong.
That's conclusory.
I'm righteous unto the law. Period.
Done?
That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. The applicable statute today is 8-133, KSA 8-133. Display of license plate. The provision begins, the license plate assigned to the vehicle shall be attached to the rear thereof and shall be so displayed during the current registration year or years. It goes on with some language from there, but that's the bottom line. Were you, sir, driving a vehicle with the license plate assigned by the Department of Vehicles, the tag department, and did you have it attached to the rear of your vehicle? And was it for the current year? I understood the officer's testimony to say that you did not have the current year's plate attached. I wasn't totally clear, but it sounded like you were saying you had a tag, but you didn't have it attached. You, on cross-examination, were very clear that the only plate you had attached to the rear of your car was Plaintiff's Exhibit 1. And you admitted that that did not come from the Department of Motor Vehicles, but that came from some private contractor that you hired to make this special plate for you. You emphasize the US DOT number. Well, you may have a DOT number, but those are usually assigned for vehicles of a certain size, weight, and function. I don't know that I've ever heard anyone argue that the number would apply to a private automobile, as in this case. But those numbers go usually on the doors in vinyl lettering, but they do not replace a car tag. I do find you guilty, sir. You will pay a fine and court costs. And I was looking, this isn't one with a scheduled fine to it. Mr. Dean, do you have any recommendation to what the fine in this should be?
There's nothing in the system that's going to get him out of this situation, so he'll try anything. Yeah, a lot of the time it's desperation. When people see no other way out and they feel the system is screwing them, whether it is or isn't, is irrelevant. I mean, it's not irrelevant generally, but to this topic, when they feel they're being screwed over, whether it's true or not, they are willing and incentivized to start to buy into stuff that is outside of the system. In fact, pseudo-legal bullshit, because it gives them hope People want hope. They want hope they can win. They want hope they're right. And they'll take it, even when it's false hope. John Lithgow is playing Dumbledore in the new Harry Potter. Oh, fuck. I love John Lithgow. That sucks. Been rewatching Third Rock from the Sun. Ah! Yeah! Feelings.
Your Honor, as he had paid his taxes and registration, I'm going to treat this as what I typically do, even though Mr. Estrada exercises his right to trial and does not acknowledge that the state of Kansas can even require him to do
Shocked
this.
he's still alive. He's in his 70s, I think.
I'm going to ask court to impose a fine of $50. Those court costs of $108. I believe under most circumstances, this carries a maximum 30 days of jail, not asking for any jail to be served, but I believe that we may need some type of a sentence underlying for this matter, with 6 months of non-reporting probation and appropriate time to pay.
And I'm sorry, I missed what you said about how long the length was.
I actually didn't make
This is a $50 ticket, or was that light? There's no prescribed amount, so she got to set it, I think. I think she took into account that he's not well off, it seems, which is good.
I just stated the max sentence was up to 30 days. I didn't make a particular statement as to how many days to serve. I will say recommend 15. Again, it did actually have the tag, is choosing not to display it based upon an improper belief on the rule of law in the state's opinion.
79.
We'll clarify that I at no point in time stated that Mr. Estrada did not know what he was saying, nor a number of things he attributed to me as being statements about him. I made none of those statements. I simply stated that the full faith and credit and the fact that we are a constitutional republic and the states have state rights and control of certain issues is being ignored by the arguments. Never stated that he didn't know what he was saying.
Well, and
yeah, apparently they have a real tag. They just refuse to put it on the car. That's not uncommon. Sometimes sovereign citizens hear this stuff and then they'll just remove the tag or the license plate and wait for it to expire on its own.
Listened to Mr. Abel in both city court and district court on this case. And at no time have I been given the impression that he was incompetent or needed a mental evaluation. I always believed and found that he just had a differing opinion than what most of the folks in the legal system believe based on the laws that we work with. But Mr. Estrada, your fine will be $50. Your court costs are $108, so you owe $158.
Oh man, if he just paid the ticket. The court costs are more than double what the fine was. He just should have paid the fine. Oh, come on, dude.
How much time do you need to pay that, sir?
I have no money. I make $700 a month and my rent is $500, which leaves me with $200 for food. I have no money, but I'm going to appeal this. I'm appealing this.
All right, well,
Okay.
I'm going to give you 14 days to pay. I'm also giving you a 15-day sentence.
Fucking 2 weeks. That's rough for him for the amount of money he makes. There's no way he's gonna be able to pay that. Like $158 in 2 weeks for someone who makes $700 a month? That's fucking devastating.
That you will not have to serve as long as you do successfully complete a 6-month non-reporting probation. You will not have to see a probation officer, but you will need to do 2 things. The first is do not violate any laws during the 6 months. And the second is pay the $158 within 14
Do I
days.
have any vids with the snappy dressing judge who always tried to explain things to Sovsids? None today. I know he's done some stuff lately. What is his name? Judge Flesher.
Now, you
Fleischer?
do have up to 14 days to appeal this decision to the Kansas Court of Appeals. If you do, I am going to set your appeal bond at $158 cash. Anything further, Mr. Dean, from the state?
Your Honor, just non-reporting conditions, probation to include pay all costs and fines within 15 days of today's date. I'd like a pay or appear date.
Okay. Pay or
Keep us
appear.
notified if he would change it. Keep the county attorney's office notified if he change addresses and no new law violations.
All right. If you change your address, phone number, contact information, the condition of your probation is to let the county attorney know. And then I'm going to give you a date to return that if you don't have this paid, we're going to revisit it and see what, if any, effect it might have on your probation. So, Missy?
You say 14 days?
They're about 14, 15, somewhere in
I
there.
had 15 days written down, but I may have just done that off of the 15 day sentence.
February 28th at 11.
All right, February 28th, 2025 at 11. You need to have that paid or be
May I
back here in court. Yes, sir?
I cannot pay it. I don't have the income.
All right, well, we will visit that. We'll revisit that on February 28th.
Your Honor, in this case, I probably should review the journal entry and maybe ask the court to approve it if Mr. Estrada won't cooperate. Sir, I'm going to show you what I've marked today. This is a journal entry. It's just simply a
I
record.
understand that they need him to pay a fine. I'd give him like 6 months though, and that 6 months is quite a while to pay like a $150 bill. Like, but he needs that, right? I get that he needs to pay the fine, but I think it would be reasonable to give him a long period of time to do so, considering clearly in a pretty fucked up situation. I don't know. I just think this is going to send him further down the rabbit hole of sob sit stuff, which is the opposite of what you want.
Of what occurred today. I'm not asking for you to agree to what the court ruled or found, just that this is what happened. And obviously, you do have the right to appeal any judgment entered against you today. It's got the case name, State of Kansas versus yourself, case number assigned to it, which is Greenwood County 2024. Case number, the date that we all appeared here today, that you appeared via Zoom with court-appointed counsel who's assigned as standby counsel, and I need to add in Mr. McClendon's name to the journal entry. So there's no blanks. So I've added Mr. McClendon, who was designated by the court at this point in time as standby counsel. Court found you guilty after proceeding to the bench trial of illegal display of tag, violation of KSA 8-133. Court proceeded to sentencing. Court sentenced you to a 15-day sentence, which is suspended for payment of court costs, payment of fine, and I don't believe the court stated this, Your Honor, but I think the court's going to waive attorney fees based upon the disability finding or claim. $50 fine. Go down here, and other conditions of probation include, but are not limited to, or may include, pay all costs and fines within 15 days of the day. If you have not, appear on the date the court just gave you for February 28th at 11 a.m. this year. No new law, or keep the county attorney's office notified. If you change addresses, no new law violations. And I've also noted the court. So do you agree that that's what the court ordered? Mr. Abel, or excuse me, Mr. Estrada?
I don't agree to anything, but I hear what you say.
Okay, I'd ask the court to go ahead and authorize that I approve without his signature. The court approves that that's an accurate recitation of the journal entry without his.
Thank you, Judge.
Oh, I hope that guy gets help, because he is wildly misguided, and I hope he found some way to pay that fine. Fuck. set like $700 a month. I can't even imagine. Fucking nice. Speaking of which, if you want to help support the show and keep it going, consider becoming a subscriber on YouTube, a subscriber on Twitch, a member on YouTube, or gifting subs on Twitch or memberships on YouTube. All right, let's see what's next. We probably have time for like one more video, something along those lines. Let's see what Motto's doing. This is probably going to be bad. So he's watching, what is it, Tulsi Gabbard getting sworn in as the head of whatever the fuck it is, the CIA or whatever fucked up thing. But he's just going to talk about all sorts of random shit that doesn't make sense. So let's check it out.
Marks at Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation. Before we get into this, let's open in a word of prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Please watch over us, help us to be able to study this material and learn from it in the best way possible. Please continue to keep us all in a spirit of good intentions, as well as wanting to and continuing to assist our fellow man with everything that we possibly can. Thank you so much for your wisdom and for all of the wonderful guidance you give. We say this in Yahusha's name. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen with you here, show you this actual ceremony. Okay, so now we're watching the actual confirmation. I'm going to let this play for a little bit to give it an introduction, but then I'll jump to the other parts that I believe are relevant. Okay, so there's a few pleasantries, all right, out of respect for Ms. Gabbard, I wanted to at least play that, but she's going to be the director of intelligence, okay? Now, the whole theory behind the QAnon stuff, people.
Oh no! Is he into QAnon? Come on, man!
Right, is that all of this stuff has been playing out the last 6 years. The reason for this video is simply explaining my take on it from that perspective, juxtaposed against what Scripture says, okay? So here we are, we're looking at now this rollout. Why? Because the American people would have revolted had they learned this stuff 6 years ago. That's what they were afraid of, according to Jan Halper Hayes in her radio interview with those people from England. So, or
those people from England.
Television interview. So now you have the international cartels that have been taken down. So
Jade Monkey says, I thought QAnon was basically done, that those beliefs are now just mainstream conservatism. For the most part, I would say that they are.
What's next? Because remember, Joe Biden, whoever it was that's been playing him, okay, as well as, you know, Hillary Clinton, Obama, all these people who I believe have already been dealt with, which is why he refers to her as beautiful Hillary. The only way she could be beautiful if she was gone, right? So in my opinion, again, this is all just opinion, right? So now we have...
There's that thing again where they think opinions and beliefs are the same thing. Those are your beliefs, not your opinions. Your opinion is the best dessert is chocolate chip cookies. That's an opinion. This is a belief. An incorrect belief.
Tulsi Gabbard coming out, and as you can see, we start to see these news reports about judges stepping in and telling him pay the money anyway, right? Why is that relevant? Because you're going to start to see now how admiralty law is practiced in all of these Nisi Prius courts across the United States, and how it's bar association members like that judge who are out here ensuring that USAID, all these other agencies who are getting paid from these sweep accounts from dead Americans since 1933, okay, 1 trillion per day from the DOJ, from locking up all these Americans in these private prisons. That's what it's about. But you're going to start seeing now these judges, how they operate, why they operate the way they do. Because remember, all that admiralty law, it's owned by the Vatican, which means all the banking is done out of England, and then the military arm, that's the United States in Washington, D.C., the corporate entity, okay?
All right, did you catch all that? Good, it'll be on the test later.
Those are the 3 horns of Revelation, pastors. Wake up. Coming out of Babylon means jettisoning the U.S. citizenship. returning to your status as an American Indian. Read the Constitution for 1776. We are exempt if we're Indians. What does it say an Indian is in the Government Accountability Office Styles Manual, Section 5.3? It's a Washingtonian, Alaskan, Montanan, Alabamian, yada, yada, yada. Okay? That's who we are.
You're sad for his
US
ex and his kid? Well, they don't seem to have to deal with him anymore, so that's good.
Citizen is a corporate construct, and it's based out of D.C. No different than if you
No, he's not wearing his fake headdress today. He's wearing a cowboy hat.
had a membership to Amazon, you have a membership to Costco. If they had their own law enforcement, they started writing their own corporate rules or statutes, you autographed, you can sign your rights away if you're dumb enough to do it. I don't recommend it. But again, we are not brought up to learn this. I want to be clear about that. I don't care if you're a teacher in the public school system. Since 1933, unless you've been around that long, you've been indoctrinated as well to believe that being a U.S. citizen is a good thing. That's why they called it the New Deal.
I'm sorry, do you think that the New Deal had anything to do with, like, birthright citizenship? Those are very different things. What the fuck is he talking about? What does he think the New Deal is? Huh.
You use their monopoly money, you have to play by their monopoly rules. Very simple. Here we go. I'm gonna jump here. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, so I still have the commercials.
Yeah, ad blockers don't work correctly on, like, BitChute now, just so you know. And the ads on BitChute and Rumble are hilariously revealing about who their primary audience is. It's all scam products, snake oil, dentures. Like, oh, did you know that coconut oil is actually bad for you? And here's a man telling you that oats will kill you. Like, the commercials are fucking insane. There's one where Donald Trump Jr. fucking shows up and is like, did you know society's inevitably going to collapse? Buy our shit. Like, it's so fucked up. I'm bored. I've thought about this. Part of me wants to do a stream where we go on Rumble and BitChute, and we don't watch any videos for real. We just click on videos to see the ads, and we just spend 3 hours looking at all the scam ads on Rumble and BitChute.
Okay, so we're gonna get to the, I want you to watch this. Okay, now pay very close attention to what's about to happen here, okay? Remember, when Trump took the oath of office, his hand was not on that Bible. Why? Because the Vatican owns the copyright and trademark to all admiralty law.
No, none of that's true.
That means that's why canon law is positive law, people. It's because it's Vatican, statutory, whatever. Remember, the Pope owns all of you U.S. citizens.
The Pope does not, in fact.
We American Indians.
We said that to the Puritans. I think they would have punched you in the face.
We're owned by Yahuwah if you're in the Mato Nation. Otherwise, you can be an Indian still. You can do whatever you want, have your own tribe. By definition, you're a Native American if you're entitled to U.S. citizenship by birth, right? However, it's also a felony.
Not the same thing.
You need to claim you're a U.S. citizen if you're not. So since I've always been a law-abiding man, guess what?
Is everything corporately owned to him? Yes. To sovereign citizens, everything is a contract and everything is a corporation. To them, every duty is a contract and every single entity is a corporation. They're very wrong about these things, but that's what they believe.
I'm an American Indian. I've recorded the correct paperwork in the correct counties, doing business as this one all caps entity called Marcus Ream, Marcus Troy Ream, Marcus T Ream, all these different entities. Or Chief Mato, the domestic agent in commerce for those entities. However, after having received a disheartening call from the Bureau of Fiscal Service, who, claims this, that, or the other thing, in other words, we're going to use this estate, even though, you're entitled to it as the entitlement holder, we're going to ignore all your stuff that you send us. We're going to pretend like you're an idiot, that You know, you're
We're gonna pretend like you're an idiot. Brilliant plan. No one will ever figure it out.
not operating in honor. And again, all my accusers are felons and traitors to the Republic. So go ahead and accuse away. Couldn't care less what any of you jackasses have to say, especially not until I get my weapons back. As far as I'm concerned, like I said, you're traitors to the Republic, criminals working for an organized operation, or what Trump referred to in his executive orders as a cartel. Remember, you heard it here first, okay? That word cartel is not referring to the Mexican mafia groups, okay? That is referring to the Bar Association. Hide and
Sir, no.
watch. This judge was the first foray into that. And remember, all of these intelligence agencies, it's now coming out that they all assisted Obama, they assisted all these different so-called states in their election interference.
No, they didn't? What the fuck bullshit news sources does this guy listen to?
They knew this years ago. You're being told this, America, because we are ignorant. We have been brought up intentionally to be ignorant, but most importantly, to immediately recoil at the thought of anybody out there that you like to call a sovereign citizen. Communists and traitors use that oxymoron, okay?
We didn't make up the word. Sovereign citizens came up with the word. The word is oxymoronic, but sovereign citizens made it up. We didn't. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
That's a paradox.
It is,
You can
yes?
either be sovereign or you can be a citizen.
Yes, you're not making a point here. The fact that it's a contradiction makes it an apt descriptor because what you're doing is paradoxical. You're trying to have your cake and eat it too.
But you can't be both. So when I hear somebody use that term, I know they probably sit in the corner and pet a dead cat or slap themselves with a leather glove for a good part of the day, because
what is that a reference to? Pet a dead cat or slap themselves with a glove? That is such a specific reference. I don't know what that's even referencing, and I'm pretty good at references.
if it weren't for the autonomic nervous system, they're too stupid to breathe. They'd suffocate. I can't stand people who are incapable of actually sitting up and objectively looking at something. If you think that these guys are all out here, they're sovereign citizens doing all this stuff, then you tell me, why do you have an autograph on the back of a driver's license? Why are you getting a gun permit to exercise a Second Amendment constitutionally protected right? Why are you asking for permission from a corporate entity that has an EIN, a DUNS number, and operates in
not a corporate entity.
Commerce?
And government agencies do have EIN numbers because they're employers. An EIN is an employer identification number. It's used for tax purposes. You don't need to be a private business to have an EIN. As long as you are employing people, you have an EIN.
Stupid. Yet, when somebody starts telling them this, your average knuckle-dragging troglodyte Democrat has already programmed everybody out there to be, oh, he's a sovereign citizen. Yeah, but you know what? You can't disprove what he's saying. That should tell
That's not how the burden of proof works.
Something, fool. You have all these opinions. They're not based on fact. He can show you where to read this stuff, but you're too lazy to read it. Which one of us is actually the dumb moron?
I mean, you're the one that I think went to jail, so... like, I know that's not inherently a measure of intelligence, but between the two of us, your legal beliefs have gotten you in jail, and you lost your guns and your family, and none of that's happened to me, so...
Moving on. Listen carefully.
Think we're going Confederacy of Dunces, oblique references to masturbation with the second one? I haven't read A Confederacy of Dunces. I'm familiar with it, but I've not read it, so that might be the problem. He is an angry fella. Very mad. Why is he watching this with no audio, by the way? Or is it just in the left channel and I can't hear it?
To see what's happening here. Trump didn't put his hand on a Vatican Bible. Trump walked into North Korea, which is...
Again... I don't think the Bible that people typically swear on is a Catholic Bible. There's different Bibles.
Sovereign ground, which means his feet hit a nation's sovereign ground that does not participate in admiralty. At that point, any contracts with any foreign entities were abolished.
Is that how he justified Trump walking into North Korea? You think he has sound but not for the stream, just him? Well, he fucked up. That's funny. Oh, he cut out.
Hey, friends. This is now being recorded again.
Do I think he'll act violently? Oh, I have no idea. I can't make that assessment. Do I think he's capable of it? Yes. Do I think he will? I don't know.
Right in the middle of this thing, boom, it shut off. Right when I got to the part to explaining about why this is important here, okay, with our girl and why she's swearing on the Constitution and not a Bible. Okay, remember the Bible is owned by the Vatican. They have to get all U.S. citizens under that, keep them under that.
Incorrect.
Right? Now, just to bring you up to speed, since obviously this is being recorded, I'm going to use it as evidence of my pure intent to try to engage in commerce. So I've given notice to the brokerage account of who the beneficiaries are on the bond funds that are underneath all that. So what have they done? They've shut off the brokerage account. They've closed that account. You buck the system when you don't let them steal your weapons, when you start bringing the attention of the local authorities, national authorities, and the local population of who these people are in the Bar Association, all of the law enforcement agencies and police forces that they control. They are a de facto corporate military operating in the United States.
De facto corporate military.
Republic. Now, does that mean that they're at war with the United States? That means if you're referring to the United States of America based in DC, absolutely. Why? Because it's owned by England. So if you read the Trading with the Enemy Act, that's why they're referred to as non-belligerent enemy combatants. Why are they non-belligerent? Because they're stupid and they don't realize that they were taken over under Lincoln, that we've been under martial law ever since. So somebody asked me that. Are we going to see military tribunals or are we going to see other stuff? What I can tell you is that intelligently, knowing who their population, who their audience, who their demographic is, this makes perfect sense, people, why they would roll it out like this. If you tell everybody the big secret, you tell them exactly what's been kept from us, from technology to lands beyond the ice wall to lands within the earth.
So he's not only a flat earther, he's a hollow earther as well. I don't think I've ever heard anyone who is both a flat earther and a hollow earther. So he thinks it's flat, but it has depth. So it's like a rectangle earth?
Okay, everything about the bullshit that NASA has given us about outer space. Nobody's ever gone past the firmament. That's just another...
There is no firmament!
...lie. Your history, confusing speciesation with evolution. Okay? Taking all these kids who are otherwise religious, devout men and women, bringing them into their university system and corrupting their minds with what? Bullshit like, the plate tectonic theory. Wegener's
Oh my god, he doesn't believe in plate tectonics either! Is this man the most conspiratorial single individual I've ever covered? Do you remember we used to have a bingo space that was sovereign citizen, flat earther, QAnon combo? It's him! He's the guy! He believes every conspiracy theory!
Nonsensical thing that has never even been proven by any mechanisms that can be observed on Earth. This to say nothing of the fact that they're trying to convince us we didn't actually live with dinosaurs. Who said it? Matt Damon. Never heard of her. In terms of anybody that is important. He'll cast an opinion about somebody like Sarah Palin, who I'm no champion of Sarah Palin's. Okay, I don't want to make that statement here. I'm not her enemy, but again, politically, we're on divergent views there, probably theologically.
What's the difference between him, Cece, and Daniel Pratt? Cece's not a QAnon guy and not a sovereign citizen. Daniel Pratt's not a sovereign citizen or a QAnon guy either.
As well. However, what he called her was basically stupid. You know, again, I'm paraphrasing, but basically for believing that humans walked with dinosaurs. Yet you can see in Texas where a riverbed washed out, there's a big dinosaur footprint with what is clearly indistinguishably a human footprint in the
Yeah, that's been debunked many times. That's like a classic creationist bullshit thing.
middle. There's many cultures across this country. I've seen the petroglyphs myself on our lands of animals that can only be described as dragons. The flags of Wales and the flag of Wales and the flag of China are separated by over 3,000 geographic miles, but they have the exact same dragon on their flags, as well as like 28 other countries. So we have tales of knights going out to slay dragons. Yet we're told that these are things that are prehistoric and you have to have hundreds of millions of years to make a fossil. Really? Then how do you have fossilized people in graves where a river has just showed up and it had mineralization, and it had moving water? That's all you need, or pressure. They have fossilized Coke cans, fossilized Nike shoe.
All right, I think we're going to call it a day because I'm suddenly exhausted by all of this. How long into this video are we? We're 15 minutes into an hour and 23-minute video. You might need to save this for a full stream on its own, because this is a lot. This is a lot. Thanks, everyone, for watching the stream. I appreciate it. If you like the stream and you're watching the VOD or anything, consider gifting memberships or subs. Always helps the channel. Couldn't do it without people supporting. Tomorrow I will be back for Tinfoil Tuesday, so we'll have plenty of fresh conspiracies for all of us to enjoy and make fun of. Should be good. Just a Peach with a $1 tip says, some guy with the right words could sell this guy all the bridges. Indeed he could. Alright, let's see who we're gonna rate on Twitch, and then we will call it an evening. I need to make some food. I am hungry.
That much.
All right, we'll raid Tina too. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And a wonderful day tomorrow, too, if I don't see you. But you should hang out, because Tinfoil Tuesday is always fun. I'll make sure to get us some primo foil for tomorrow, and we'll play bingo. So I'll see you then. Have a great night, everyone. Be cool and all that jazz. Love you, Mr. Blast, and I'll see y'all later.